Good evening, and welcome to the 1575th meeting of the General Student Senate, the second meeting of the 46th session, which I now call to order. Notice that this meeting is being broadcast via Zoom, and the recording will be available on YouTube. Next, I will read the land acknowledgement. The University of Maine recognizes that it is located on Marsh Island and the homeland of the Penobscot Nation, where issues of water and territorial rights and encroachment upon sacred sites are ongoing. Penobscot homeland is connected to the other Wabanaki tribal nations, the Passamaquoddy, Maliseet, and Mi'kmaq, through kinship, alliances, and diplomacy. The university also recognizes that the Penobscot Nation and the other Wabanaki tribal nations are distinct, sovereign, legal, and political entities with their own powers of self-governance and self-determination. Next, the clerk will vote.
Ricker.
Here.
Cynthia Shelmerdine. Here. Ezekiel Warm.
Here.
Ryan St. Lawrence.
Here.
Nick Bag.
Here.
Jordan Thompson.
Here.
Maggie Johnson. Here. Catherine Cowan. Here. Nathaniel Stanley.
Here.
Samuel Brown.
Here.
Joshua Long.
Here.
Juliana Jolin. Here. Isabella Lemadrid. Here. Kayla Kearns. Here. Matthew Weber.
Here.
Pastor Harvey.
Here.
Romy Shu.
Here.
Aaron Martone.
Here.
Zachary Kellogg.
Here.
Ethan Karate.
Here.
Hazel Sparks. Here. Ellen Bellack.
Here.
Haley Stanford. Here. Jeremy Collmore.
Here.
Egan Tripp.
Here.
Memphis Peterson.
Here.
Oliver Bois.
Here.
Dylan Lehman.
Here.
Amanda Levesque.
Excuse.
Elizabeth Oldfield. Here. Kathy Downer. Here. Zoe Stankovitz. Here. Riley Mills.
Here.
Dylan DeMerchant.
Here.
Jonah Harper.
Here.
Lauren Depot. Here. Zachary Wentworth.
Here.
John Guzman.
Excuse.
Casper Leah. Here. Tyler Duncan Bias. Danny Tanaka.
Here.
Lori Sedilka. Here.
Thank you. I'm now looking for approval of the January 21st, 2025 minutes on this agenda. The agenda says 24. Senator Bone.
I move to approve the 1/21/2024 minutes and this agenda. Second.
20, we'll acknowledge that as
2025.
I hear hearing a second. If that's the pleasure of the Senate, that is adopted. Next, we will move into general good and welfare. Any non-members may address the General Student Senate for not more than 5 minutes.
Okay. Good evening, Senate. My name is Meredith. I used to be a senator here, but this semester I'm not because I usually have a work conflict. But tonight I don't, and last week I didn't. So that's fun. And I've never actually seen a student give testimony to the Student Senate like unprompted in my time here. So I'd like to say I'm the first, but I also don't want to be the last while I'm here. It was hard last week because, and it's totally up to the chair, but we didn't hear public testimony last week. And I had moved around my schedule of my day and even moved around work meetings to attend. And I wasn't heard, general good and welfare was not heard last week. So I think that, but that's just a one-time thing. I think there's more that we can institutionally do to keep more people standing here and talking to you guys in a way that's a little bit more formal than you complaining on your camera. There's a few things that I think that would be helpful. I think that we could turn our report a problem form into something that where the answers are accessible to all senators and all members of UMSG so that it acts as a form of its own asynchronous testimony. So that rather than you sending it just to the committee chair that it's relevant to, making sure that we can all see what everyone else sees on this campus. Because we miss things. We're human. I'm very human today. But last week what I came to testify over was the raise in the student activity fee. And as a student who will not be paying it next year, I am a student who however, who has been here for 4 years and has seen the increasing cost of attending this university. This university costs, I think, almost $3,000 more to attend than I did when I started here, including since my financial aid doesn't improve, my scholarships improve, but the university just keeps improving and it just needs the money to do it. Last year, I testified to the Board of Trustees over a technology and infrastructure fee that was meant to improve the HVAC in one of the buildings on campus, and then we'll have its own new project next year. I would like to, so here's my take on the student activity fee. $22 is a lot. That's $44 in a year. 22 makes it sound a lot less than it is. It's actually double because you pay it twice if you still go here 2 semesters. I don't think that we need 44 additional dollars from every student to run a really great organization that can provide for our students. I did some janky math because I don't have all the resources anymore because I'm not on EBC anymore. Miss you. But from the materials in EBC I did have, I was able to create a spreadsheet where I made an average funds that we can fund for a club because it fits in our, we would fund that if we had the money. So like, it's not against our financial policies to fund that. I made an average denied funding of every week, multiplied it by the amount of weeks that we give out funding, and then divide. I have a spreadsheet, but basically I had a way to, that says that if every student paid $2 more, then we could fund about $19,000, which was about my estimated total on what we would deny from clubs that reasonably asked for it over the span of the year. That would be added on to the Go Big because like we're already struggling as an organization and we're not just here to fund clubs. I don't think we need $22. I think that's an unnecessary financial burden on students who are already facing more fees than ever from this university. I think that you guys are smart and talented and can make do with less, and we do not need to raise it to 22. And I also do not think that we have the political opportunity to raise it to 22 with all the other fee increases on campus everywhere else. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other general good and welfare? Seeing none, President Cook.
Thank you for coming in and we appreciate it. And I hope to see you a few more times before the end of the semester.
Any other general good and welfare? Seeing none, we will be moving into new senators, officer appointments and resignations. Will the following please stand? Hazel Sparks for at-large. Zachary Zellog for at-large. Ryan St. Lawrence for engineering. And Samuel Brown for liberal arts and sciences. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and uphold
and uphold
the Constitution of Student Government, Inc.
the Constitution of Student Government, Inc.
And all other rules and guidelines
and all other rules and guidelines
to which I would be held.
To which I would be held.
Further, I swear
Further, I swear
to well and faithfully discharge
To well and faithfully
discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
upon which I am about to enter,
upon which
About to
I am
enter.
about to enter.
while representing my constituency
while representing my constituency
and the University of Maine.
in the University of Maine.
Congratulations. Just doing this off the top of my head, but if I remember correctly, there is now 1 open seat for liberal arts and sciences and 2 for at-large. And the vice president of student leadership attests to that. Excellent. Seeing nothing else, we will see nothing for club maintenance, club presentations, or guest speakers. We will move into executive reports, starting with the president of UMSG.
All right. First off, I hope everyone's first week back went well and that your first full week back is going well already. Some housekeeping, my office hours will be Tuesday and Thursday from 12:30 to 2 and Wednesday and Friday from 9:30 to 2. So if you need me, you can find me in the office during those times. I do highly suggest that you send me an email beforehand to make sure that I am there and not with somebody else. And I also have a very helpful booking link now where we can compare our mutual availabilities, which has been one of the best things I've ever had. So please use one of those avenues to get in touch with me, but also if you're going by the office and need to stop by, works too. Old business, I finally had my meeting earlier today with follow-up meeting with Cheer. We talked about advocacy. They are in need of roughly $8,000 to go to their trip, and we talked about the feasibility of that. On the topic of student activity fee. So I'll be following up with Jade Kim, who's in the captain of the cheer team, after she meets with Tyson, who is in athletics tomorrow, to see if we can improve a few things about that. Also, this is exciting. The first town hall will be next Wednesday from 3 to 4:30 in the Bangor room. This is the first iteration of the town hall series. I hope many of you can make it and please encourage others to attend. It will start with a presentation from the deans. Advisor Sedelko will be there. And the theme will be donuts with the deans. So hopefully we'll have donuts there for that. And we'll be putting out information on our Instagram. And so please reshare, post, get people to go to that. It'll be exciting. For new business, I've been asked to join the SRE Academic Portfolio Implementation Group. This is a committee that will meet a few times in the next week to discuss short-term ideas to recommend to the president, and then longer-term ideas that we'll meet once or twice a month moving forward after this, which will come up with recommendations for fiscal year 26. And then I've also have an update about the student activity fee. We need to submit a tentative activity fee raise by the February 18th meeting. This gives us 3 meetings, not including this one, to come to a conclusion about this figure and the figure that we're going to put to a student vote. And as a reminder, the 2 current figures that we've been discussing are 11 and 22. And I also urge senators to include a 10-minute discussion later tonight, if that is feasible, so that we can continue those discussions. Next, I'll be meeting tomorrow with Disability on Campus. This is a group I've been looking to meet with since they became recognized last semester, but their exec team was busy and they had a bunch of different initiatives, but I finally got one scheduled. And I look forward to discussing how UMSG can elevate the accessibility conversation that we all know needs to be had. And I have a few proposals that I'm excited about, but I will wait to hear their perspective before I share those. And then finally, I'm looking forward to learning who will be leading our various committees. As a reminder, these are very, very important things to take to kind of hit the ground running with. We've been hitting the ground running all year. I'm excited to continue that this semester. And we've done a great job. And as always, I and the rest of the exec team are here to assist you with your duties. So please let us know if we can be of assistance as you settle into your new roles after tonight. And that is the end of my report.
Awesome, thank you. From my report, myself and Senator Cowan are meeting with John Bear Mitchell tomorrow morning to discuss a potential unique land acknowledgement for UMSG Incorporated. Tonight, we're going to be doing our second round of nominations as well as elections for the various Senate positions. So please have any platform speeches on hand when we get there. Also note that only senators may vote when electing Senate positions, regardless of who is nominated. So even if there are representatives running for ex officio positions or special committee chairs, they have to be elected by senators. It's just like they have to be nominated and seconded. Once committee chairs are elected, I'm going to be scheduling a meeting where myself and each of those chairs, hopefully as a group, can discuss expectations, the jurisdiction of their committees, their procedures, and all that as a team. That's where I'm also going to distribute the committee binders, where they're going to keep their resolutions, their minutes, their attendance. Now that our administrative assistant, Jeff, is rolling back his hours, I highly encourage and advise you all to embrace scheduling meetings with each of the executives rather than just dropping by the office for business. Please be communicative, as it will serve you best. It's not so much for us, it's to make sure that we're helping you in every way that we can. And yeah, Jeff is going to be working Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays because those tend to be our pretty busy bureaucratic days, wrapping up Senate business, distributing stuff. So if you need anything, those would probably be the best days to stop by. But like I said, the open office hours are meant more for people who need student government as a resource, and we all are student government, so just make sure you're communicating. And we're almost finishing up with reformatting each of the governing docs. As soon as PolyPro is established, they're going to get a lot of resolutions doing that. Same thing with the services committee. Whenever that's established, I'd like to sit down with that committee and discuss the project intake policy that that we've been discussing for the past couple weeks. So please let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or ideas. And that's the end of my report. Next is Vice President of Financial Affairs.
Hey y'all, so pretty brief report. We're gonna go over the financial timeline today, so everyone will have a grasp of all the steps any rep or the community or organizations will need to do to get money for next year, as well as all the sports clubs, but they have a second meeting tomorrow. In addition, we're gonna look at the financial audit and talk a little bit about the family paid leave, which went through this year. Besides that, my office hours are 11 to 2 on Monday and Wednesday, and 10:45 to 12:30 on Tuesday and Thursday. I also have a similar link to the rest of the execs, so feel free to stop by or schedule an appointment. Our starting unallocated is $56,203.22. There's no change from last week. And under report.
Thank you. Does anybody have the report for Vice President of Student Organization? Seeing none, we'll move on to Vice President of Student Entertainment.
Hello, everyone. As hopefully most of you saw last week, we announced that there are only 2,000 tickets left available at Blackbird Cinema. 291 students went last week. After they run out, I will be having serious discussions with Blackbird Cinema about some of the problems that do or potentially exist and seek ways that we can move forward and not have to deal with them next year. And the main focus will be ensuring that undergraduate students are the recipients of tickets, however that works. But more importantly, I heard a lot about students being upset about it. And I just want you guys to consider that we only have a limited budget. So when students want more, you need more money to spend. And just consider that with the student activity fee raise. Contracting for the spring show is going well, and hopefully we can make an announcement on that soon. AVPSC Hall is working on the small band festival still, so if you're interested in that, come to SEC. We're ordering 500 shirts for the Beat UNH game. Additionally, a project that I recently decided was a great way of helping us engage with students and figure out the sound of our campus was creating a UMSG Spotify. And once I get that more ironed out, I will be dropping that in the Senate chat. And you guys will be able to engage with that and you make your own playlist for that too, which I think would be cool. And then if you are interested in any projects in student entertainment, please put your name or your hat in the ring for student entertainment committee. And there is no set time yet because my schedule changed. Here are my office hours. Hold on. 1 second. Maybe I'll bunch of Jack in there. Mondays 11 to 1 and 3 to 4. Tuesdays 10 to 3. Wednesdays 11 to 1 and then Fridays 12 to 1.
Thank you. Vice President of Student Leadership.
Hello, all. Also, just an update. I did check the attendance sheet. There are no more CLAS seats open. I've been working on the yearbook and getting things together for the student leadership sessions that I'm working with VPSO and CSI with. It is the Deergo leadership program that I've mentioned a couple other times. I'll have more on that in the next week or two when VPSO Levesque and I touch base with James at CSI. Just a reminder that yearbook cover submissions are due February 3rd. I may have said Friday in my reminder in the Senate chat, but it's February 3rd, which is Monday. And will be picked on Tuesday at 5 p.m. during next week's SLC. So if you're interested in helping decide which cover we go with, come to SLC. And we'll be meeting at the same time as we did last semester, which like I said, is 5 to 6 p.m. on Tuesday nights in my office, unless we run out of space. And if we get to that, we'll pick a new spot. There are a couple different passion projects to work on this semester during SLC, so I'm excited to have more information about those in the next coming weeks. And I would like to set up check-ins with newer senators once positions are filled this evening, so expect to hear from me about that, as well as me needing a photo and a short bio, which I'll drop the additional information for in the Senate chat, and that's for the yearbook. And
Thank you. Advisor to Student Government.
no report.
And we do have the student organization.
Yep. This is from Amanda. Sorry I can't be there. I have a meeting for all Maine women at the same time and had to be there today. SOC will have a few clubs attending tomorrow, like Microbiology, American Marketing Association, and possibly one more. I am also having a few meetings this week with the new clubs getting started or wanting to begin their recognition process. DOC Downer and I drafted a caption for the post for the club storage, which means that will be getting publicized. For the rep boards that haven't applied for storage, please do it's first come, first serve. I also want to begin the scheduled club visits with President Tripp whenever possible. It's proving to be a busy semester so far, and I am up for the challenge. If I am not back on time, I wish everyone the best with nominations and a report.
Thank you. Any questions for the speakers? Questions are open to non-members. President Grimm.
I left something out of my report. I will be putting through my cabinet senator nominations tonight, so I will need somebody to add that to our executive session part, but you can do it during that, so just do it when it comes. Thank you.
FPPC Chair Stankovitz.
Is there a time for SEC?
No.
Any other questions for the speakers? Representative Merchant.
How are the movements going for reestablishing SEED and its representative?
So from what I understand, MESH, which is the current organization that's kind of taking the place of SEED, is going through the process of becoming recognized as a club, which has to happen first for the rep board part of things. So it's in its process. But I think that I've been in contact with Eddie Nakami, who's been kind of leading that charge, and giving him all the information he needs. So we're working slowly but surely towards that.
Thank you. Any other questions for the speakers? Excuse me, Senator Kearns.
Question for whoever knows, does anybody know when SOC meets?
I don't believe it. Senator Thompson.
Last I heard, I think it's Wednesdays at 3 p.m.
That sounds about right.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay.
Any other questions for the speakers? Seeing none, we'll move into periodic reports. Given that most of these positions are vacant, we're only going to go through the ones that are currently seated, starting with the University of Maine Board of Trustees Student Representative.
Which is coming to us via voice recording?
Yep.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah, take a look.
Hi everyone, I hope you're having a good start to your semester. This is how I'm going to be submitting my reports this semester. I have a lab, unfortunately, from 5 to 9 on Tuesdays, but I wanted to let you all know that I will still be attending the board meetings and committee meetings and cabinet, and I have an office hour from 12 to 1 on Tuesdays, or I can definitely make time by appointment. Just send me an email. Yeah, I hope you all have a great semester, and if you want to talk to me, I'm totally available, just not from 6 to 8 on Tuesdays, unfortunately. That's all. End of report.
And to add on to that, I believe you can find those, the video of it as well, in the BOT.
Right. Yeah, that's the plan. I'm not sure if it's there this second, because we just talked about it today, but it will.
Okay, great.
Any questions to the speaker? Chair of the Fair Election Practices Commission.
Hi everyone, this week I've been finalizing the details about the elections, the executive elections, mainly concerning the debate and the inauguration. DFC Downer did a great post about the applications being available and that they can do February 7th. BPSL Oldfield was sent a timeline to send in the newsletter to all of the undergrads. And then I am in cahoots with DOT Mills to update the website. If you weren't here last year, on the website, there was this like cool countdown that showed you like the exact days and seconds and stuff until election day. And so I'm hoping that that and some other resources can be updated again this year, because I think it was fun. And then hopefully I will work with all 3 of these people again shortly to do the I voted sticker designing competition.
Thank you. Director of Communications.
Hello, so my office hours are going to be Mondays and Wednesdays, 12 to 1, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 11:45 to 1:45. And I really just wanted to say that I'm gonna start a Meet the Senator Monday again on this coming Monday. So if you haven't posted in the folder that I sent out, please do, and I will post it again in the chat also, but yeah, that's all.
Thank you. Director of Technology.
Alrighty, howdy y'all. So my office hours, not that I expect anyone to really pop by, but if anyone wants to, they are 12:15 to 5:15. Well, basically 6, yeah, Tuesdays, and then 9 to 11 on Fridays. So if anyone needs me, that's where I will be. As well as that, been hearing a lot of execs getting booking links, which is extremely exciting because I love that feature of Google Calendar. So this week I'll work on making a little booking page so that you can easily find
their links and be able to just do it right from there. But lately, I've just been doing database stuff, nothing too exciting, so kind of report.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the speakers? I do have a question for Commissioner Stankovitz. What is the next upcoming executive elections? Like, what's the next date?
So applications are due fully finished, 200 signatures on the 7th of February. Yeah, because that's the latest I can be here on Friday.
Awesome. Any other questions for the speakers? Seeing none, we'll skip report, if it's the pleasure of the Senate, we'll skip reports of standing committees and special committees. And go into representative board reports, starting with commuter and non-traditional students.
Good evening, everyone. As for last week's report, we were going to be submitting the constitution change, but due to scheduling conflicts as well as another crop up of disease, which just point out for everyone, I'm hoping you're all staying healthy and safe. A lot of bronchitis and other sicknesses are roaming around. But just due to those constraints, we were hoping to have those goals finished as soon as possible. I'm not gonna say we're gonna get it done next week because last that I heard, the president, President McKenzie, President Blanc of Kansas is currently running a high fever and she's not doing so well. So I'm hoping you could all send your positive wishes for her and just for us to be going forward with it. I wanted to provide just an update rather than nothing at all. So yeah, and a report.
Thank you. Honors College Advisory Board. Does anybody have that report? Seeing none, Interfraternity Council.
So this is like our last week of rush. Most houses are wrapping that up, and then our all executive between sororities and fraternities, our all executive meetings tomorrow.
Thank you. Panhellenic Council.
Hi, IFC and panel have our first joint meeting tomorrow directly after the all exec meeting, and we're looking forward to seeing all the chapter presidents and delegates and discussing our goals for the semester and the report.
Thank you. Student Athletic Advisory Council.
So some game results, so men's basketball, women's basketball, both beat UMass and all. Women's ice hockey beat UNH recently as well. As for upcoming games, track and field has an upcoming invitation at BU on February 1st. Men's ice hockey has a game against Northeastern this Friday at home. Men's basketball has a home game against UNH this Thursday. Men's basketball has an away game against UNH this Thursday. Women's ice hockey goes against Providence for an away game. For some SAC-specific news, there's an athletic department Title IX meeting tonight. Wish I could be there, but I can't. And Women's and Sports Day is coming up on February 22nd in the Field House. I will not be there because I have championships, but if you guys know anyone in club sports or anyone who is an athlete and also a woman, or doesn't have to be anyone that wants to participate in this event, it's February 22nd in the Field House, the afternoon. Yeah, report.
Awesome. Thank you. Senior Class Council.
Just one thing, so the senior class council will be holding a winter gala on February 7th in the Buchanan Alumni House. Tickets are currently for sale. UMSG reposted our post today, so if you go find it there on their story or find it on our Instagram, the link to buy tickets is in our bio. It's gonna be a really good time, so go buy your tickets. And report.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the speakers? Seeing none, we'll move into community association reports, starting with Shack. Anybody has that report? Seeing none, we'll help Stein.
For the drag show auditions, we will have virtual auditions via video submission open from February 17th through the 28th. And we're still trying to find a venue for the in-person auditions, but it'll be during that time frame. And I'll have more details and advertising stuff next week once some people get back to us about what days the venue we're looking at is available. End of report.
Thank you. International Student Association.
We just had our first meeting yesterday, and it was very productive, very excited about what we're together for the upcoming weeks. Last Friday's coffee hour was a great success. There were 20 pieces that were gone pretty quickly. Excited about our few ruins. This week we're holding a country feature in cooperation with Bangladeshi Student Association, Bangladeshi national food representation of their country. And just a reminder that the International Dance Festival is coming up soon. We discussed it yesterday's meeting for the budget and we will support the school event. And this for coffee hours, we're planning to host bingo the week after the next one. We're also looking to have a Valentine's Day themed coffee hour on February 14th. And we're talking with Nepali Student Association to have a contributor. Point first half of the semester goes.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the speakers? Senator Kennedy?
Point of information, do we do second round of nominations all at once or as we go through each?
Per position, like we'll just go down the list.
Goes nominations and then elections.
No, we're gonna do nominations and elections, like we'll do the second round of nominations and then go. I just want to turn out and lost or confused.
Okay, so
We're doing them differently.
okay, but just to clarify, we will nominate for a position, vote for that position, and then move on to nominate for the next position.
More than likely, unless everybody hates that idea, but we'll get to it.
Okay.
Senator Kennedy?
I make a motion to delay the 5
Never mind that yet until we're at a community association. Any other questions for the speakers? Seeing none, if it's the pleasure of the Senate, Senator Bone, sorry.
I move to delay the 5-minute recess until after elections for service committee. Services.
Hearing a second, if it's the pleasure of the Senate, that's adopted. Any discussion on the motion? Any debate on the motion? Representative Merchant?
Point of inquiry, what section is that under nominations? I just want to like gauge the timing, but it's all 12. Thanks. That's all.
Any debate on the motion to suspend the 5-minute recess until after third votes? Seeing none, or Senator Thompson?
Point of information, why after services and specifics?
Trying to go for about halfway through when the time would be, even though it's like farther than halfway. A lot of the ones there before are sinking people so far.
Any other debate on the motion? Senator Ricker?
Here's 5-minute recess now and also second one.
Not currently relevant to the discussion. Any other debate on the motion? Senator Fan?
I'd like to amend it to membership instead of services.
What? Cool.
I don't hear a second. Great. Okay, hearing no second, that motion is not accepted. Any other debate on the motion to suspend the 5-minute recess? Representative Merchant?
Everyone, just letting everyone know, it's been 34 minutes since we started the meeting. I don't mind delaying the 5-minute until after services. I think it's pretty fair, given the fact that we've been very speedy with what we had to report on. So bear that in mind, guys.
Great. Any new points of debate? Seeing none, all those in favor of suspending the recess? All those opposed? All those abstaining, seeing a clear majority, that passes. The 5-minute recess, I'm taking note of it. Right, will now be after the nomination and election for the services. Seeing nothing in the consent agenda, nothing in unfinished business, we will now move into new business of nominations. Before we go into this, there's a couple of things that I'd like to iron out as a Senate first. So how this is going to work is regardless, we start with nominations. My first question is going to be this is an informal vote, who would prefer to go down the list to services doing nominations, and then once everybody's nominated, we then go back up to the top where everybody does their platforms and then elections, and we go down the list again. Raise your hand if you like that idea. Raise your hand if you don't like that idea. Great, now. On the other hand of that is, so we'll do nominations for faculty senate, and then once that's concluded, the people do their platform speeches one at a time, and then we distribute paper to senators to vote. Who likes that? Who does not like that? Okay, so that's the system we're going to be going. The second informal part of this is an idea has been raised to me by several senators and a couple executives about an idea of Once nominations are concluded and we enter the platform speech stage, everybody who is nominated will be asked to step out into the hallway. And then one at a time, they step in, give their platform speech, and then sit down. And we go through one by one until everybody's seated, and then we go into elections. Raise your hand if you like that idea. Raise your hand if you don't like it. Okay, fair enough. We are now in new business for nominations for faculty senate student representative. Currently nominated is Senator DeLorme. Are there any other nominations? Senator Ricker?
I nominate Senator Sparks.
Here in a second.
I decline.
No. Any other nominations for faculty senate student representative? President Tripp?
Point of information, faculty senate meetings are from 3 to 4:30 on Wednesdays.
Thank you. Senator Fang?
I nominate Senator Martone.
I respectfully decline.
Any other nominations?
Oh, and didn't even get a second.
Any other nominations? Representative Demerchant?
I'd like to nominate myself.
Second.
I gladly accept.
Currently nominated are Senator DeLorme and Senator Demerchant. Any other nominations? Seeing none, we'll start at just going down in the order that they were nominated, starting with Senator DeLorme for a platform speech.
Hi, everyone. So my goal last semester, was just to get my foot in the door in student government. And I feel like, on the membership committee, I was able to do that, in there. But I think I'm ready to move on. And it's not that membership isn't important to me because I think it definitely plays a role in the community that we have here and the environment that's provided here, but, I don't think that I was here or I came into student government to do just that, and I'd like to kind of expand my role in student government and further my involvement and hopefully be able to work on projects like the Silvis Bank and have like a critical role in bringing what's happening in the faculty senate to here and reporting on that. And I hope you guys trust that I can do that and believe in me because I can do this. Thank you.
Demerchant?
Good evening, everyone. You may remember me from being the GSU liaison, from last semester. And with that, I am hoping to just broaden on with that experience to this position. I've always made sure to give full and detailed reports, even if there isn't really much on what had happened during the meeting. I'm always aiming to inform and update the current student body. Excuse me. I'm hardworking and dedicated, and I will be, I believe myself to be very qualified to be running the Silvis Bank project as well. Especially given the fact that there's gonna be so many different concerns and interests with this very important and very helpful project. So at the end of the day, we're all the ones that I will be depending on, and likewise. So I hope that I will be the candidate to be serving for this semester. So thank you.
Thank you. All senators, we're gonna do this similar to how we did last semester or last session. Raise your hand to receive a ballot. Once you have one, write down the one name that you would like to elect for this position, and then hold your ballot right back up, and our helpers will go around.
Raise your hands high.
Yes.
Now you can do like, yeah, there you go. Well.
Make sure to raise your hands, make sure your ballot gets collected, and once they're all collected, we'll move on to the next round of nominations.
What?
It's the first time I get to take you out in the country.
Yeah.
Where you get that?
Why you outside?
And that's the main time.
He was like.
Any other ballots that haven't been collected? Great, while those ballots are being counted, we'll move into the second round of nominations for the student legal representatives. Currently nominated are Senator Harvey and Senator Johnson. Are there any other nominations? Senator Ritter? Any other nominations? President Tripp?
Nominate Senator Ricker.
Second. Any other nominations? Senator Bone?
Nominate Senator Zula.
Second.
Respectfully decline.
Any other nominations? Representative Merchant?
I'd like to nominate Senator Sparks.
Second.
Bye, fine. Respectfully, extra respectfully.
Any other nominations for student legal representative? Seeing none, we'll move into platform speeches, starting with Senator Harvey.
Hello, everybody. Hope you're having a great night. Now I come to you as a candidate for student legal representative. You can have things in the middle. Sure. I like to look at everybody's faces whenever I talk to you. Well, in all seriousness though, law, passion, is something that I'm very passionate about. And I thoroughly enjoyed working with Sean last year because previously I actually worked with him to set up insurance for my 5K, for a charity 5K actually that I helped host last year. And I thoroughly enjoyed my experience working with Sean. And I believe that I can be a great ally to him, to student government. I can give you prompt information, or I give you good information, easily explainable, and make it not complicated so that everybody in this room and everybody watching this on the film can understand what's happening with Sean and with our legal office. And for that, I ask for your support and for your votes to allow me to represent student government's legal side of the thing. Yeah. Thank you.
And Senator Johnson.
Hi, everyone. My name is Maggie. I'm a senior psychology major with minors in criminal justice, legal studies, and the Constitution and American law. Through my 4 different internships, I have experience working on cases in different areas of the law, such as child protection, family law, landlord tenant law, and criminal law. I'm currently working at the Attorney General's office and have been accepted to law school, which I'll attend this fall. I held this position last semester. My central goal was to increase and expand awareness of student legal services to undergraduate students, many of whom do not know that they're paid for by the student activity fee. Sean and I met bi-weekly to discuss the plethora of things he does for UMSG, and we planned an event to achieve expanding the awareness of legal services. And then at the end of the semester, we held an informational lunch, which was really focused on landlord tenant law and fair leasing practices, which was very successful. And in addition to answering lease-related questions, Sean was also able to give advice and share information about how to appropriately handle being pulled over, potentially searched by a police officer, or when caught using a fake ID or using substances. In addition to this, I feel that I was and will continue to be a clear and effective communicator with the rest of the Senate through my concise reports, legal knowledge, and by making myself available to answer questions or connect others with Sean. With this, I hope to continue serving in this role and build on my work from last semester. Thank you.
That concludes platform speeches. While ballots are being handed out, the Faculty Senate student representative will be Senator DeVore.
I don't need that.
Yeah, it's really expensive. I used to have it in my.
No one and I.
Relax.
I'm thinking.
Until these.
Any other ballots that have not been collected?
Oh, yeah.
You need to.
Well, I'm actually my nomination.
Oh, hey. Go right here.
You can put your ballots here.
Any other ballots that haven't been collected for student legal representation? Seeing none, while those votes are being counted, we'll move on to platform speeches for the representative to the graduate student senate.
Nominations.
Oh, that's what I meant to say, nominations. Senator Kavanaugh.
When are the meetings for the graduate student senate? Do we know that?
Point of information, it meets bi-weekly on Fridays from 3 to 4.
And currently nominated for this position are Representative Demerchant and Senator Cow. Are there any other nominations? Senator Bowman?
Let's nominate Senator Zilog.
Second. I respectfully decline.
Senator Wicker?
I'd like to nominate Senator Bennett. Second.
I respect.
Any other nominations? Senator Fang?
I'd like to nominate Senator St. Lawrence. Second. I respectfully decline.
Senator Wicker?
I'd like to nominate Senator Stanley.
Second. I respectfully decline.
Senator Bowman?
I'd like to nominate Senator Brown.
Second.
I accept.
Any other nominations? President Tripp?
I nominate Senator Weber.
Second.
I respect. Any other nominations for representative to the graduate student? Seeing none, are those results?
Yes.
Great. Before we go into platform speeches,
Our legal representative for the semester will be Senator Johnson.
thank you. Next will be platform speeches for GSS rep, starting with Representative Demerchant.
Good evening, everyone. So as many of you probably remember, for some of the new members, I was the previous GSG representative for last semester, just keeping updates on the graduate student activities within their governments and just keeping this government appraised on it. For this position, again, I'm hoping to continue on from some new little traditions that I've created for this semester and beyond. Such as doing the weekly meetings with the GSG liaison. I feel like those meetings have been very, very productive, especially with bridging the gap with some information that's inadvertently lost with the meetings, especially with having to type as almost as fast as the speakers. Some information gets lost, and keeping everyone updated is very, very vital, especially given with the news that happened last semester with the vote from confidence with their dean. And the information tied to that was very, very important to us as undergrads in our prospects for grad school. And I'm hoping for, at least for new goals to be done for this semester. One of them being the sort of job description for this role. As many of us probably know, that there isn't really a paper clearly outlining what is and isn't tied to what we are as chair members or just those who hold specific roles. I feel it is very, very important to just simply lay it out on paper rather than simply bringing up details just from memory, because things get lost over time. And also giving new avenues, or at least bring more resources to the GSG to allow them to have their liaison come to us and view their meetings a little more accessibility wise. So I'm very hardworking and dedicated to whatever position that I'm in, and I hope that you all elect me to this position. So thank you.
Next is Senator Cowan.
I'll also stand because I guess that's what we're doing now. Hi, everybody. If you don't know me, my name is Casper Cowan. This is my first year on student government. I would like to clarify I am a third year at the University of Maine. A lot of you think that I am a sophomore. I am older than that, I swear.
but thank you for thinking I'm so youthful. I would be really excited to have this position. I love sitting in on conversations and advocating for people when my opinion is asked for. I also just love hearing the opinions of others, and I think this would be a really interesting avenue to explore within those goals that I already have. I have a lot of friends and colleagues who are graduate students at this university, and even they don't know what goes down in their student senate meetings. So I would really love to be that person who can share back to not only us, but the larger student body.
Thank you. Next is Senator Brown.
I think I'd like to rescind my nomination. I think they're much more qualified candidates.
All right, thank you. With that being said, the current nominees are Representative Demerchant and Senator Cowan. Senators, hold up your hand, collect a ballot.
Thank you.
Sorry. You can get another dollar if you do it all there. That's true. Sorry.
You're good.
Yeah. See if you can vote on it, really. I'm really gonna. That's fine. You just, but I just.
Any other ballots that haven't been collected?
And that week, most of it, I have.
Seeing none, while those are being counted, we'll move on to the Orono Town Council liaison. Currently nominated is Senator Marto. Are there any other nominees? Senator Baum.
Nominate Senator Zila.
Second.
I respectfully decline.
Any other nominees? Representative Demerchant.
I would like to nominate Senator Olin. St. Lawrence, my apologies. I would like to nominate St. Lawrence, Senator St. Lawrence.
Second. Respectfully decline.
Any other nominees?
Point of information,
Yes.
when are these meetings?
They are, wait, just a minute, let me make sure, okay, second and fourth Monday at 5 p.m. But they're recorded after and put online, usually the day after.
Thank you. Any other nominees? Seeing none, would Senator Marton like to take the platform?
Okay,
You can if you want to, you don't have to.
last year, I had the privilege of being on a committee. And we met at least once a month, sometimes twice, and I spent a week after school had officially ended, selecting the new town council manager for Orono. Now, during that week, I had food poisoning, and if I had known, I probably wouldn't have, but I'm so glad that I did because I got to be part of the process of having a new town manager, and yeah, great things that we do here. Thank you.
Thank you. By default, Senator Marton will be our. Do we have results? Yes. All right, go ahead.
Our GSG rep for the semester will be, drumroll, Senator Cowan.
And next is the Old Town City Council liaison. Currently nominated is Senator Marton. Are there any nominees? Everything?
Nominate Senator Grady. Second. I respectfully.
Any other nominees? Senator Bone?
I'd like to nominate Senator Zila.
Being that he's not here, he accepts. Any other nominees? Seeing none, we'll move into platform speeches, starting with Senator Marton.
Okay, while I did not have as much as a role in the Old Town City Council, mainly because they have all their positions filled and are relatively quiet, it's not that there's nothing happening in an Old Town, it's just that it's very like low maintenance compared to Orono. Now, that being said, I would love to develop that if the council wants me and if I get elected here. Thank you very much.
Senator Lewis. Seeing that he's not in attendance at the moment, we'll move into votes.
I encourage you to take this vote seriously.
Yes. You're a senator, hold your hand up, collect the ballot.
Student activities conversation. I think I. You don't have to. Can you imagine if that's the one vote in the year?
Yeah, you my lunch.
And then you gave me an extra one. Thank you.
No, you keep it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We're not coming to a conclusion tonight.
Any ballots that haven't been collected?
Just so.
And while those are being collected and counted, we'll move on to representative to the Military and Veterans Student Affairs. Currently nominated is Senator Shelmer. Are there any other nominees?
Nominate Senator Craddy.
I respectfully decline. Senator Bone.
Let's nominate Senator Wallingford.
Second.
I respectfully decline.
Any other nominees? Seeing none, Senator Shelmer, would you like to give a platform speech?
Sure. So I got this position, last semester and the semester before, and my proudest accomplishment within it is the volunteering opportunity that I was able to create with the town of Orono. And I'm excited for this semester to extend it to the whole town as well. And this will be going out for NRTC and RTC students first. And I'll be looking to opening it up to the general student body in the future. But I also hope to get in contact with Mike Smart again, because I have an updated company for getting flags because they had an issue with quality before. And I hope to help them with my connections with my town section. Thank you.
Thank you. Results yet? Then we'll take it before.
We have results.
Okay, well.
Our representative to the Military and Veterans Student Affairs will be Senator Shelmer.
While we're still counting, never mind, we have results.
And for Old Town City Council Liaison, congratulations, Senator Marchode.
Thank you. Next is the University of Maine Security Representative. Currently nominated is Senator Shelmer. Are there any other nominees? Senator Ricker?
No, it's Senator Jones.
Second.
I respectfully.
Any other nominees? Senator Ricker?
No, it's Senator Bell.
Second.
I respect the decline.
Any other nominees? Seeing none, Senator Shelmer, would you like to give a platform? You don't have time, but I'm going to offer a platform for every position. Just,
I'm all set, thank you.
that being said, our University of Maine Security Representative,
Senator Shelmer.
Next is the Center for the Undergraduate Research Liaison. Currently nominated is Senator Bone. Are there any other nominees? Senator Ricker?
No, it's Senator Wimble. I respectfully decline.
Any other nominees? Seeing none, Senator Bone, would you like to give a platform speech?
Sure, I'll sit down. I've enjoyed working with the Center for Undergraduate Research for my last 2 years that I've been on student government. I've built a good connection with them, but I am also working to get other people involved. I've worked with Senator Weber over here and invited him to join some of the Cougar meetings, both for the advisory committee and for the symposium. And he has agreed to help out, so in the future, maybe he will accept the position.
Thank you. That being said, President.
Congratulations, Senator Baum.
Next is the membership standing committee chair. Currently nominated are Senator DeLorme and Senator Kearns. Are there any other nominees? Senator DeLorme?
I would like to respectfully rescind my nomination.
Currently nominated is Senator Kearns. Senator Ricker?
Like nominate Senator Bella.
I respectfully decline.
Senator Tripp?
I'd like to nominate Senator Ricker.
Any other nominations? Senator Marcon?
I'd like to nominate Senator Mishi.
Second. I respectfully decline.
Any other nominees? President Tripp?
I'd like to nominate Senator Pratty.
Second.
Second.
I respectfully decline. Any other nominees? Senator Bone?
I'd like to nominate Senator Lomager.
Second.
I respectfully decline.
Senator Cowan?
I would like to nominate Senator Brown.
I respectfully decline.
Any other nominees? Seeing none, currently nominated is Senator Kearns. Would you like to give a platform speech?
Sure. Hello. My name is Gail Kearns. I think I'd be a good fit for this position because I'm very social. I would be great at attracting new members to our organization. For things such as committees and gathering feedback, and I also think it's important to support us as a group through food. Thank you.
With that being said,
Congratulations, Senator Kearns.
next is Policy and Procedure Standing Committee Chair.
And now I'm gonna.
Currently nominated are Senator Harvey, Senator Fang, Senator Jolin, Senator Cowan, and Senator Ricker. Are there any other nominations?
I have more than that.
Please read them.
I have currently nominated Senator Fang, Senator Harvey, Senator Jolin, Senator Collmore, Senator Cowan, and Senator Ricker. That sounds more right?
Yeah. Thank you.
List those again.
Yep, Senator Fang. I'll go for Senator Harvey, Senator Jolin, Senator Collmore, Senator Cowan, and Senator Ricker.
Thank you. Are there any nominees? Senator Cowan?
I would like to rescind my nomination.
All right, any other nominees? Seeing none, we will start our platform speeches with Senator Harvey.
All right. Well, I'll do another one of my short speeches tonight, unfortunately. All right. Does anybody else see my heart beating through my chest right now? Oh my God, I'm just so nervous. Now, in all seriousness, all right. Policy procedures is very I'm gonna restart that. Just forget I said that, everybody, okay? It's out of your brain. All right. Now, policy procedures. It was my bread and butter whenever I was part of the committee. And I had the privilege of working beside our VP Memphis Peterson, our president Keegan Tripp, our former president Michael DeLorge, many senators in this room such as Senator Fang, our former Senator Waters, and many others such as, and Senator Michelle also actually. Yeah, I remember you in at least one meeting. And while in policy procedures, I realized that it's not about me, it's not about you, it's not about you or I, it's about we. That's how we can form the best policy possible. That's how we can come into the room each and every single day, ask questions, understand, interpret, change, revise, create the best policy possible for the betterment of the student organization and for the betterment of our school itself. And that's a commitment that I'm gonna make to you. I'm asking you to put your faith into me as the head of policy procedures to allow me to lead the committee, to allow me to bring the values of we as a whole together. Because it's not, nothing's gonna get done individually. It only happens when we work together to pass the best possible policies. And that's what I will do as your head of student, as your head of policy and procedures. Thank you.
Next is Senator Fang.
Okay, hi guys, I want to start off by apologizing. I will not be jumping over tables or pacing around. I'm also gonna try to make this quick. I know we're all trying to get to the break. I wrote this speech last night instead of doing my homework because Senator Harvey told me he was trying for this, and I am, if nothing, motivated by spite and my love for this organization. Let's get my experience out of the way. First of all, I served on policy procedure for 1.5 semesters. That half semester is because I don't think anyone needs to speak more on the time last year, or last semester, except me. I'm gonna speak more on that later. Policy and procedure is a uniquely internal committee. I want to quickly run through some of the bills we went through last semester. Don't worry if you don't recognize these. I had to comb through 50 emails by Jeff. That's not a random number. We had 4 amendments to SORP, 3 to the standing rules, 1 to the DOT position, 1 to bring back the mental health committee. While these changes were no doubt important, I think Polypro can do a lot more as a committee. Additionally, some of you might have noticed that some resolutions that we passed are missing from this list. I don't know if that's because maybe Jeff forgot them from the emails or one reason or another, but I don't know, I couldn't find them either. But sorry, to quote the standing rules, policy and procedure has jurisdiction over all matters of the policies and procedures of UMSG, as well as all relevant documents and matters. And this committee and its policies are so often debated. I will be sending the resolutions into the chat so that senators have time to look over them. Additionally, one thing the previous chair, God rest her soul, was required you to attend at least 1 meeting before being added to the chat. This is not a policy I will be enforcing. I believe that as senators, you have all earned the right to serve on that committee and debate these policies. And I will be sending a general idea of what the Polypro resolutions are going to be in the chat a day ahead of time. If you want to come to my committee because you have one specific policy that you think applies to you or your constituency and you want to debate, that is your right to come for just that policy. To that, speaking to what I believe the point of Polypro is, are there things I want to do? Absolutely, but that's not how I view this position. Otherwise, I'd be a committee of 1. I think that the chair of the Policy and Procedure Committee should be a facilitator. To that point, I want to continue policy writing workshops. I also want to work with the VPSL and meet with senators to see if there's any issues or passion projects that are bothering them. You know, when I came in as a new senator, there were things that I wanted to do. That's why I joined this organization, and I didn't know how to do that. And I want to make sure that all new senators, or even old senators who just never got to touch Polypro, have an avenue to achieve their goals. There's a lot more to this, but I think you all get my point. I'm just gonna run through a few things. Exec evals, that's, I know, a long time away, but I want to work with both execs and senators. I think the chairs in the past have focused on what feedback execs want to get more of, but I want to know what feedback senators want to give. You know, the questions sometimes are limiting and restricting. And if there's something that you think the exec should know that you didn't feel like there was a platform for you to express that, I want to make sure you have that platform. Finally, the last thing, I apologize for going this long. As much fun as it is to fix little typos and amendments, the point of the committee is to get these typos out of the way, to have these amendments and debates ready so that we don't have Senate meetings that go on for 3 hours. I am promising all of you right now that we're not gonna ever have to change 3 typos when we go to the resolution. I'm gonna say, and you can quote me on this, that I'm setting a personal goal of exactly 1 typo this semester. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much.
Bravo, well said.
Next is Senator Jolen.
Wow. I would like to endorse Senator Harvey and rescind my nomination.
Next is Senator Collmore.
I would also like to rescind my nomination.
Next is Senator Ricker.
So most of you don't know me, my name is Kyle Bickle. I've been in student government since pretty much my very first day in student government. And throughout my time in student government, I've been all over the place. I've been in EDC, SOC, cabinet, Senate, I've been in Parliament. I've basically been in all kinds of organizations. And as a result, I've seen a lot of policy. I have the experience to really understand how the policy affects every aspect of this organization. And in terms of my experience that makes me a unique fit for this position is, for those who don't know, I do Model United Nations. In Model United Nations, you spend hours in this closed room doing policy intently for hours on end, and then you take that experience doing that kind of close, very analytical policy, and then you articulate it in a debate to a huge group. And I think policy and procedural is very similar to that. You spend hours going over every single word, understanding how every policy aligns with student government policy, and then you articulate it to the Senate, and you have people to explain what exactly are you doing. And I think I'm someone who has that unique capacity to be both analytical and also articulate it to the General Student Senate. So at the end of the day, I really just want this to be a very collaborative kind of position. I want everyone's input. And the very first thing I would do as policy procedure chair is to put a poll in the Senate chat saying, what time should this position be? Because the more senators we can get at this position, the better. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
Currently nominated are Senator Harvey, Senator Fang, and Senator Ricker. Raise your hands if you're a senator to collect a ballot. Then fill them out with a one name. Hold the ballot up so it can be recollected. Hold up any ballots that haven't been collected. Yes. While we have the vote to follow the procedure,
Do you want to swap?
we will then move into political activism. Currently nominated are Senator Harvey, Senator Fang, Senator Collmore, Senator Cowan, and Senator Stang. Are there any other nominees?
I also have Senator Craddy nominated.
Okay. That list now is.
So the list is now Harvey, Fang, Craddy, Collmore, Cowan, Stanley.
Any other nominees? Senator Fang?
Nominate Senator Sparks.
Second.
I accept gracefully and respectfully.
Thank you. Any other nominees? Seeing none, we'll start with Senator Harvey for platform speeches.
I like politics. Yeah, that's really the only reason why I kind of want this. Also, my friend Hayden used to be the original political activism guy, and I kind of want to take in his footsteps. I think that I can fill the shoes pretty well. Also, another part of political activism is being not really able to tell which side you're on. And so as a personally, I've always grown up with friends on both sides of the spectrum, more on one side than the other. Was it my beliefs? Is it? Who knows? And then also whenever you're voting for me, or if you do, I want to ask yourself, am I a Democrat? Or I want you to ask yourself, am I a Democrat, am I a Republican, or am I an independent? And if you can't decide, then you should probably vote for me for political activism.
Thank you. Good. Senator Fang?
Nate Fang. Thank you.
Good. Senator Collmore?
So my name is Jeremy Collmore. I know a lot of you don't know me yet. This is one of my first meetings. But this is the job that I was most excited for when I saw it on the list. I have a lot of experience within the political world. I'm a double degree student in political science and history. So it's what I plan on doing the rest of my life. So I'm really committed to the political world. I was an active member of our model state government in high school, which went to the state house to act out the legislature. I was also a member of the Model UN in my senior year, which went to USM. Currently, I am applying to be an intern in a Maine state senator's office this summer. So I am continuing my commitment to eventually becoming a career civil servant. My primary goal for this committee is to be a source of nonpartisan information about the political world, not only for legal reasons, obviously for our organization, but also because I think it's really important. I would plan probably bi-weekly reports or monthly, depending on how scheduling works for the committee. And however everyone wants to do it on there, either through email or website that we create, hopefully to provide information about current political events abroad, or obviously within the US. For students to be critical thinkers and active parts of a society, they must have reliable information, and they should be able to find that here on campus. I would also work to spread information about elections within UMaine and locally when those start up again. I think nominations for that have to be in about half a year, so I would start updating people on that. In regards to management and oversight of the political clubs and organizations on campus, my goal would be to facilitate respectful political discourse between all of the groups on campus. I believe there are 8 political groups, providing a platform for open and civil dialogue. It is crucial for this committee and student government to remain nonpartisan so that we ensure that all students, regardless of political beliefs, feel welcomed and respected to engage in meaningful dialogue and political activism. I believe that together we can create a culture of activism on campus that is vibrant, inclusive, and impactful. That is not just about raising awareness, it's about empowering every student to take action and make a difference. Thank you, and I hope you all vote for me.
Thank you. Senator Cowan.
Hi, everybody. My name is Casper Cowan, and I think there's a candidate that's far more qualified than me, and you should vote for them, and I rescind my nomination.
Thank you. Senator Stanley.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nathaniel Stanley. I'm a 4th-year student and treasurer of the College Republicans. Now, those of you who haven't heard of us, there's a reason. We've split up, usually at the end of each year, and it was usually because of bad communication. And that's why I'm here tonight, because for the first time, we have been able to exist for 2 years straight, and that's because we've communicated not only with student government and with each other, with our officers, but also with opposition clubs and clubs that would sympathize with us. So as treasurer, I have built up working relationships with the Newman Center. I've built up working relationships with several clubs that want to get recognition but are not yet official clubs on campus. And I've also built a working relationship with officers in the College Democrats, amongst whom Hayden Buzzell can mention, but also, more importantly, Meredith Waters, who until recently served as president of the College Democrats. As political activism chair, I want to reinterest the campus in political involvement because, as anyone who cares about politics has probably noticed, most of the students on campus don't care what happens politically. It's not really something they find important. It's not a right-wing issue. It's not a left-wing issue. It is an issue that affects the student body in general. Political clubs across the campus have struggled to keep people coming to the weekly or bi-weekly meetings. And that's something that bothers me because though I am a self-identified conservative, I think that the only way we can reach a successful political state is when everyone is involved to the best of their ability. And that does mean that there are going to be a lot of people in this room and on this campus that disagree with me. But I want to help them find the place that best fits their view of the world, that best helps them do what they want to make society better. And this would be a really good opportunity to do that. One of the things that I've already started to do and will continue to do, regardless of the outcome of this election, is arrange a debate on campus between the Republican and Democratic candidates for the district that represents us. That district is heading into a special election, and that special election will happen on February 25th. And it would be beneficial both to our student body and to the community at large if we hosted a debate between those two candidates, because again, that district covers Orono, and this is a representative that will represent our students. So that's all I have. Thanks.
Next is Senator Pratty.
Seeing that that I forgot, I accepted the nomination and that I am one of the people that does not care what happens politically, I would like to rescind my nomination.
Next is Senator Sparks.
Hi, I'm Senator Sparks. I was not here last week meeting because I was sick, but I am here now. I believe that the political activism chair should be an in-between for all political activities on campus and also an outreach to political activities within the Orono community and the Old Town community and the community outside of campus. I believe that the political activism chair should not favor any club or group every which way. I personally would like to keep my opinions to myself. And I would really, what I'm looking to do is create a space for other people to share their thoughts, opinions on it. I would like to see more involvement between the political groups on campus, and facilitating that would be my ultimate goal. And just have more access to political topics and debates in a very safe place where you can express your opinions without fear of repercussions or anything. So that would be my ultimate goal as the political activism chair.
That being said, that concludes the platform speeches for the political activism Senate chair. However,
I would like to announce that the policy procedure race is a tie between Senator Fang and Senator Ricker, and we will need to revote with just those two candidates as well.
Yes.
So we'll do that first. We'll give the runoff first.
So all senators collect a ballot and write down either Senator Fang or Senator Ricker for policy and procedure chair.
It's gone. Yeah.
There's one less. Then I'll arrive again and you'll vote first.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Any ballots I have?
These are policy and procedure.
Yes.
No, this time.
Okay, fine. What do you think they were?
Oh,
Where'd you get the?
The A1
Where's that?
Any other ballots that have not been collected for political or policy and procedure? Seeing none, while those are being counted, we'll take a 30-second intermission just so we can get them. In a moment, yes.
Yeah, they can. I'll be the.
Yeah, let's see there.
I loved it. I voted for you.
The candidates.
Wait, so.
All right, while that election is finished being counted, we'll distribute ballots for political activism. Currently nominated are Senator Harvey, Senator Fang, Senator Cullimore, Senator Stanley, and Senator Sparks, but one name. Any ballots that haven't been collected for political activism, hold on.
Services. I mean, they have a machine. I gave her my. Oh, okay. This is a shocking thing.
Any other ballots for political activism?
No.
President Trevor.
Drum roll please for policy. Congratulations, Senator Bay.
Currently, the ballots for political activism are being counted, so we'll move on to nominations for services. Currently nominated are Senator Michaud and Senator Shelmer. Senator Michaud.
I'd like to rescind my nomination.
Currently nominated is Senator Shelmer. Any other nominations? Senator Ricker.
I nominate Senator Ballard.
Second. I respect.
All right. Any other nominations?
Senator Ricker. Second.
I respectfully decline.
Senator Fang.
Nominate Senator Zila.
Second.
I respectfully decline.
Senator Baum.
I'd like to nominate Senator Joa.
Second.
Respectfully decline.
Senator Ricker.
I'd like to nominate Senator Sparks.
Second.
I respectfully decline.
Representative DeWerchen.
I'd like to nominate Senator St. Lawrence.
Second.
I respectfully decline.
Senator Cowan.
I nominate Senator Brown.
Second.
I accept.
Currently nominated are Senator Shelmerdine and Senator Brown. Any other nominations? Seeing none, we'll enter our stage for platform speeches, starting with Senator Shelmer.
Hello. This fall, through my work with the Space Committee, I brought the annual call to UMSG's attention, creating an unprecedented opportunity for this summit. With the efforts Memphis is putting in with Sean, we now have the chance to include student-led initiatives and projects onto the university's budget. Students' concerns regarding safety, satisfaction with facilities, and accessibility on campus now finally have an avenue to be resolved. With such a large responsibility now being bestowed upon us, it is necessary that we approach these requests with urgency and purpose when they come through Services Committee. As the only undergraduate student on the Presidential Space Committee, I'm uniquely qualified to lead these efforts. My direct involvement has shaped the criteria by which these requests are evaluated on the university level. The foundation of how requests are processed through services, which I have already started outlining, is a pivotal point not only for UMSG, but the power and the relationship the student body holds with administration. How this committee operates will set the tone for how future senates can impact our community. As chair of this committee, I make transparency and public understanding of how to submit requests a priority. This would entail outreach such as tabling to engage the general public, while also meeting with student groups on campus to understand their specific needs. I possess not only the availability to make good on these statements, but the agency, understanding, and passion to see this through. Thank you.
Next is Senator Brown.
Hey, so I guess I'm a man of few words, but I very much enjoy enjoy student services and in finding new innovative ways to improve student life on campus. Those specific services and what new ways, just, I don't know, make life a little bit easier for everyone. And how we can just help out around campus, when it comes to specific services that this committee pertains to. Thank you.
That concludes our platform speeches for services. Before we begin voting.
Sorry. Congratulations to Senator Collmore for being our political advocate.
Nominated for services are Senator Shelmerdine and Senator Brown. Collect the ballot, put your one name you'd like to nominate, and then hold them.
Exactly. My heart rate is one over
It's on the wall there. I know it's.
We're gonna have.
That's love.
So you're gonna go down to DC? No, it'll be in the May.
Any other ballots that have not been collected for services?
What a long walk I did last week.
Yes. Watch like I'm taking. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. She's like, what do you know? She can't even. So that's what. So. I think he's good. How do you know? That's the second. It's so big. The primary should be. Federal Railroad Administration guy is the guy who ran bands and. Yeah.
I'm almost out of here, Brian.
Hey, so much push down. Yeah. Oh my God, that's like. I got like next time. And someone else. And then on the interface, you might.
I do much prefer. Congratulations, Senator Shelmerdine.
If it is the pleasure of the Senate, we will now enter our 5-minute recess. We will now reconvene from our recess and we will continue by moving into academic affairs. Currently nominated are Senator Thompson, Senator Kearns, and Senator Caldwell. Are there any other nominations? Senator Ricker?
No, it's Senator Sparks.
Thank you.
I respectfully decline.
All right, Senator Ricker.
No, it's Senator Harvey.
Second. All right. Senator Martin.
I nominate Senator Jolin.
Second.
Thanks, sir.
Any other nominations? Seeing none, we'll move into platform speeches. Senator. Yes. Currently nominated are Senator Thompson, Senator Kearns, Senator Collmore, and Senator Jolin. Seeing none, we'll move into platform speeches, starting with Senator Thompson.
Hi, I'm Jordan, and I'm a junior in the English program here. Before that, I was in 2 different majors under the education program. I've also had 2 different minors. I've also been in the honors college. The takeaway from this is not just that I'm bad at decision making, but also that I've had a very diverse experience at the university. This all helps me better represent students in the areas of academic affairs. I served in the position last semester, where I worked closely on the syllabus bank project and communicating it to officials like the provost's office. I've also related issues to the office, such as accessibility issues around the proctoring location the office was using last semester. If I'm reelected, I would continue my work on the syllabus bank project while also doing further outreach to hear more academic concerns from programs outside of my range of experience.
Senator Kearns.
Good evening. My name is Kayla Kearns. I'm a nursing student with a concentration in pre-med. Due to my strong academic background and dedication to student success, I believe I would be an excellent fit for the chair of Academic Affairs Committee. My academic achievements are very impressive, having been accepted into a 5% acceptance rate nursing program, making the dean's list, being accepted into numerous honor societies in my first year of college, and admittance into the honors college. I also tutored people through NAC. All these accomplishments have led me to grow many close relationships with teachers, advisors, and students. Because of this, I'm confident that I would fully advocate effectively for positive influence in the curriculum and academic advising.
Thank you.
Next is Senator Collmore.
I don't feel like standing up this time, so I'm gonna sit, but I am still Jeremy Collmore. Like I had mentioned earlier, I'm a political science and history double degree, but I also have a minor in classical studies and was also part of the honors college and am still active in honors affairs through SAB and working on Maine related health. As someone deeply passionate about improving the academic experience for all students, I believe I bring the perspective, dedication, and innovative mindset needed to make a meaningful impact. In our ever-changing academic environment, it's crucial that students feel supported. If elected, I will focus on creating clear communication channels between students and administration to ensure our voices are truly heard. I will advocate for initiatives that prioritize accessible resources, equitable policies, and diverse learning opportunities. In my first year here, one of my only things that I've done here so far, because I'm still a new student, but that I've done in terms of academic affairs and advocating for the students was, as you probably know, working on the Lewiston Vigils. And that was a big part of, I worked with administration here. Ultimately, I was told that I couldn't do it, but I did it anyway, and then student government helped, which was really, really helpful. And so that gave me an interesting insight as well. But I had a lot of email chains with administration here on campus, so I feel that I'm ready to communicate with them as well. But I'm committed to collaborating with students, faculty, and administrators to address concerns and implement solutions that enhance academic success. Together, we can make meaningful changes to benefit current and future students. Thank you for considering me.
Next is Senator Joe.
Following the other platform speeches, I would like to respectfully rescind my nomination.
That being said, currently nominated are Senator Thompson, Senator Kearns, and Senator Collmore. Raise your hand to receive a ballot and then fill out one name. Yes. Any other ballots that haven't been collected? All right, seeing none. While those are being counted, we'll move on to student mental health, the special committee. Currently nominated are Senator Cowan, Senator Blatt, Senator Stanford, and Senator Jones. Are there any other nominations?
I'd like to rescind my nomination.
Nominated are Senator Cowan, Senator Blatt, and Senator Jones. Any other nominations? Seeing none, we'll move on to platform speeches, starting with Senator Kennedy.
Hello again, everyone. Once again, my name is Casper Cowan. I am a third year here at the University of Maine. I represent the CLAS College, but more specifically, my majors are in psychology with a concentration in developmental psychology. I am also a double major in women's gender sexuality studies, and I'm picking up a minor in disability studies. For almost my entire life, my biggest passion was creating community space and helping others who felt alone find people like themselves that they could turn to and talk to. I've done this my entire high school career, being head of my school's Gay Straight Alliance and working on policies and protections for students in for trans students in my school so that they would be able to access facilities that assigned with their gender of choice, or not their gender of choice, but their gender and their gender expression. And at the University of Maine, starting in my freshman year, I started working at the Office for Diversity and Inclusion, and I got a firsthand look at the positives and negatives of not having a community to look at and having a community to be a part of. Being from Maine, I know that the biggest thing we struggle mental health wise is having a lack of access to mental health opportunities and community space. One of the biggest things we deal with in this state is seasonal affective disorder. And a lot of that comes from the isolated nature of our environment, both geological and social. My biggest goal with this committee would not only be to finish out old business through continued work with the Comfort Canines project that the previous chair was working on, but also finishing out a painting program that was hosted 2 years ago, and the students' work hasn't been displayed because we were unable to get the engagement that we wanted from that, but I'd like to finish that out. I would also like to reach out to different departments on campus and turn this into a gateway for students to access like-minded individuals and also mental health services when needed. I am in a unique position working in the student life offices that I have colleagues and friends in almost every student life department on campus. So I would ideally like to host events and forums with the Office for Diversity and Inclusion, Student Wellness, and the Counseling Center, and any other department on campus that sees a need for their students surrounding their mental health. Thank you.
Next is Senator Pratt.
Before I start, I would like to sincerely apologize as I got a little dabble of the frat flu and am feeling very congested as of right now, so I apologize in advance. And if you, this is my longer speech, and if you get bored during it, you can just hold up a finger for every time I say the word mental health and get bored. Okay. As the snow rushes softly upon the memorial and the crowd stares eagerly where I command their gaze, I have become a silhouette against the fluorescent lit canvas. I finally find my voice, a strong whisper that cuts clean through the elegant winter bliss. Where would I even begin a speech on the prospect of mental health? It is such a diverse topic, with scholars and philosophers continuously debating its nonsense. While it is now a common social norm to emphasize its importance on a daily basis, many people overlook the profound impact that mental health has on young adults, and more forget how this reality has only recently been documented to its fullest extent. Even to this day, we are still researching how a declining mental health state affects psychological anatomy and its impact on social functioning. And often as a collective society, we usually undermine the strength and power over a single individual. Along with being a veterinary textbook, I also dabble in the field of philosophy. Hence my, that will appear later in my other speeches. Former Roman emperor and philosopher Marcus Aurelius stated, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." To me, this quote means that while we cannot control external circumstances, we can control our internal circumstances, our responses, and our thoughts. I understand that I might seem like an ordinary silly goober to the naked eye, but the truth is I also have experienced hardships and struggles just like everyone else. In this room and across campus, from Andro to Aristic Hall, from York Dining to Hilltop Dining, from fraternity housing to sorority housing, we all share our own challenges, and we all have ways of dealing with the tragedies of loss and have our own goals in mind. But this will be my first representative position if elected. But what is Calum's commitment to this glamorous accomplishment of a position? I'm wrapping it up. I have always sought to be a supportive individual, an inclusion handbook, if you will. Although I was raised in a relatively anti-inclusive environment, I have always strived to be a social merrimack. Throughout high school, I never conformed to any clique or group. I would always check in on the people shunned by others for one reason or another. I would never participate in any subtle bullying or discrimination. And everyone has feelings, no matter their hobbies, no matter their looks. We are all people. I enjoyed being happy in my own right without a care for what others thought of me. But back then, I didn't necessarily have a voice of my own to advocate for others. And I will deeply regret that implication for the rest of my days. Entering college, I desire to be a more transparent, an open book, if you will. I advocate for others when they are feeling down, and I'll continue to do what I can. I sat in the meetings of the MHC last semester, which was a great start for me. But I am only one person. I can't save everybody, nor do I have the power to either. My only hope upon election is to be that strong, passionate voice I've always yearned to be. And for years, I felt obligated to serve this role. And now is the perfect opportunity to finally put my passion and wish into action. Rhymes. Mental health is so important to me, and it has been as my career as a student. And even if I do not assume this position, I'll still keep it that way and continue doing what I do regardless, even far past my school career. Last paragraph. There is no way to directly display evidence of phone calls or text messages from my struggling buds who came to me for a shoulder to cry on. That would be an invasion of privacy. I am fully against screenshotting, but mental health isn't only about checking in on your friends and being a good neighbor. It is about the survival of the human species as a whole. With so many struggles in today's materialistic society, I just want to help as much as I can on this campus. It gives me the warm fuzzies, and I love to cooperate and work with the former representative and most others to the best of my ability. And I will gladly hear everybody's feedback to work for a more passionate and inclusive campus. I will tackle all issues, great and small, and even if it is my first representative position, we all have to start somewhere in the grand scheme of things, and I'm willing to help. So all in all, I sincerely hope you consider voting one Callum Patrick Villat for the assumed position of representative of Student Mental Health Committee.
Thank you. Next is Senator Jones.
Hi, Senate. I'm Senator Jolin. In my time at the University of Maine, I have experienced firsthand the way that mental health impacts the community. I would like to be a part of the conversation surrounding students' mental health and contribute to its growth and relevance. With my experience, I believe that I would be a strong asset to the committee by advocating to launch initiatives to support safe and inclusive environments that assess and target the needs of our students. I want to bring more awareness to issues surrounding student mental health and work to reduce any associated stigma. I want to work to expand knowledge of and enhance the accessibility of existing resources such as the Maine Counseling Center. I hope to potentially promote mental health workshops that provide tools to deal with stress, large workloads, and overwhelming thoughts. For what's beyond my own scope of reach, I hope to further connect the student body with the right resources.
That concludes platform speeches for Student Mental Health Committee. Before we move into voting.
Sorry. Almost through. All right, congratulations in terms of Academic Affairs Chair to Senator Thompson.
That being said, we'll move into voting for the Student Mental Health Committee Chair. Currently nominated are Senator Cowan, Senator Villat, and Senator Jolin. Sure, Senator, hold your hand up.
It might be your pet. Not my pet. Sweet. I don't know. So. Precise. My favorite pen.
Once you voted, hold your vote up. Any that have not been collected? Seeing none, we'll move on to Undergraduate Student Symposium Committee. Currently nominated is Senator Weber. Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, Senator Weber, would you like to?
I'm Matt Weber. I would first like to say thanks Senator Ball for not for letting me have this position. We all know what happened. But I do want to say just the symposium day, undergraduate research as a whole, it's such a interesting and unique part of the university itself, and it is so interesting, and it has something for every single person. It has something from every single college. Something even if you aren't a part of that college, something that's so interesting and valuable that you spend so much time and effort on, and it's super, super valuable to go and look. So I know last semester is a little chill because again, it's this semester is when the symposium day is and all the activities around it. So I would recommend anyone who just has even the tiniest bit of interest, because I didn't know anything when I first started. And even after the semester, thanks to Senator Baum, I'm already integrated in the community and in all this stuff. And it's such a great place to be. So you've got even that tiniest bit of interest into doing it, just get involved and get active in the community because it is truly an incredible place. So thank you.
Excellent, thank you. That being said, congratulations, Senator Weber.
So if somebody decided to fold this up into a little tiny triangle.
You're stressing DPSC leave now, and you fold it all tiny.
I'm not counting on working on it like that.
That's not true.
Mine are really obvious, unfortunately.
Okay, so if you set the record for people to jump over the table.
Yeah, this one specific table, yeah, for sure. Congratulations in terms of the mental health chair to Senator Cowan.
Instead, we will move into the Food and Dining Affairs Committee. Currently nominated are Representative DeMerchant, Senator Kearns, and Senator Cowan. Are there any other nominations? Senator Shelmerdine?
I'd like to nominate Senator St. Lawrence.
I accept.
Any other nominations? Senator Cowan?
I would like to rescind my nomination.
Currently nominated are Representative DeMerchant, Senator Kearns, and Senator St. Lawrence. Any other nominations? Senator Zeller?
I would like to nominate Senator Fang.
I accept. Currently nominated are DeMerchant, Kearns, St. Lawrence, and Feng. Any other nominations? Seeing none, we'll move into a period for platform speeches, starting with Representative DeMerchant.
Internally, a little thing because need a little more space because this is one of my more passionate topics that I've been going for. So it was a pleasure to present it. If no one minds. All right, so hello everyone. My name is Bill DeMerchant. I am a fourth year senior at the University of Orono, fielding in history and political science. And while these are the two fields that are not directly related to food and dining services, I feel like I feel for myself that I'm very uniquely qualified within this position, as I've been part of the food service industry since around 8 years, with around 4 years at working at McDonald's and 4 years at working at Shaw's Osco. And as someone who is interested within this position, I'm hoping to at least platform on this chair as bringing people together and spearheading community goals for everyone affecting the campus. As what my first manager, Emily, had told me, whenever you're doing something alone, whenever you're doing something, don't do it alone, because we are a team. Now, of course, I'm not gonna say that because she said we're family, and once we get to workplace drama, then we're gonna start calling each other family, so anyways, with this position, I'm hoping to bring as many people together to focus on the continuous and new goals spearheaded by previous chairman and Nate Finn for this coming semester, such as examining the increase of food prices in the Bearson and overall meal plans on campus. I don't know if anyone's been in the Bearson recently, but $10 for a chicken burrito, there has to be some cost in that. The increases in prices over the course of just one semester is hurting all of our wallets. Not short of the fact of what I've gathered from research for preparing for this speech was food and dining plans are supposed to be going up toward next semester. With that, I'm also hoping to uplift student voices over the concerns of food equality and to continue the conversation of food and dining services and where it is headed. Because again, we are paying thousands and thousands of dollars to a meal plan that we are supposed to at least get like the basic necessities. And yet, there are various rumors going around and also the images of pink chicken, which I will not show for you guys because it was a little bit of an image. That has been something that has been directly going on.
I'm also hoping to speak with and uplift the tens, if not near 100 student workers who serve our food each week. Their input and their work to us is very, very important, not just us as a student body, but as a community as a whole. Because again, student workers, they make the system possible. And for that to make sure that they're included in this conversation is very much vital to this. Along with that, I'm also hoping to work with a previous goal that I had started with ever since I joined student government spring of 2024, of working for making accommodations of dietary restrictions to be the standard within all dining halls, not just simply within New York as the system currently stands. With this, with this committee, I'm hoping to make sure that this is a safe space and a uplifting place to share all of our concerns and our, to bring all of our concerns as well as suggestions to Sodexo, not to simply complain or bring anyone down, but rather to point out the successes that were made, as well as point out the faults that have been continuing. Food and dining is one of the most important topics within our entire campus ever since the Sodexo change. We've all been talking about it, especially Yik Yak. And by that, under my leadership, as well as the hopefully, if not more than 20 people to join this food and dining committee, I'm hoping to at least work and make sure that us as a community, we are working towards a better and brighter future when it comes to eating and having a basic life on campus. So, thank you.
Senator Kearns.
As stated before, I'm a pre-med nursing student. Food is fuel. Food affects things such as mood, disease prevention, and can affect vital organs such as our heart. Unfortunately, as someone who eats at the dining hall every day, I get firsthand experience on the food quality on this campus. Living on campus allows me to hear left and right the opinions students have on the food and dining here. It will also allow me to work closely with the students. I was in the FDA committee last semester with Senator Nate Thang, where we worked to increase proportional sizes in the Bears Den and help contribute to the current construction in Hilltops. If I was chair of the FDA, my plan would be to work very closely with Matthew Legal, the general manager of Sodexo Affairs at UMaine, to be the voice of students concerned about food and dining. Thank you.
Senator St. Lawrence.
Good evening, everyone. Speech is a little bit long. I'm very sorry. I did not know roughly how long it should be. My name is Ryan St. Lawrence, and I'm appropriate nominated for the role of chair of Student Dining Affairs Special Committee. Today, I'd like to talk about one of the more controversial issues on our campus, dining experience. We all rely on the dining services here at UMaine, whether it be going to New York or Hilltop for a meal, Wells for that late night snack run, or even vending machines when they choose to take cash finally. As we all know, there's a lot of room for improvement as students continue to raise concerns across campus. Our dining halls face some pressing challenges. First, food safety is a recurring concern. Students have raised issues about uncooked meats, improper food preparation, and overall cleanliness in some of the dining halls. These are basic expectations that not only negatively impact student trust in our dining services, but also the health of the students. Second, many students struggle with the extreme pricing of common items, for example, paying several dollars over the price of the same item at a convenience store or supermarket. While the university does offer many lucrative meal plans for students, those who live off campus should feel like they have a reasonable option when they come in for classes and study. Finally, the lack of clear allergy labeling, especially in the dining halls, poses a serious risk to students with dietary restrictions. It's critical that everyone, regardless of their needs, can safely and confidently navigate our dining options. As chair of this committee, I envision a campus dining experience that prioritizes safety, accessibility, and transparency for all students. My goal is to work with Sodexo, student employees, and administrators to address these issues head on and implement some hopeful possible changes. So to tackle these challenges, I propose some of the following. I will advocate for stricter inspections and audits of food preparation areas, ensure compliance with certain state health standards. Collaborating with Sodexo, we can implement a transparent process for addressing safety concerns and sharing updates with students. Also working with Sodexo and students together, we hold focus groups once a month with students to address concerns at all levels of the dining experience and propose solutions. We'll also prioritize implementing a standardized allergen labeling system across all the dining halls. This includes better and more clear signage, training for staff, and accessible resources for students with dietary restrictions. My experience in food industry as first a prep cook, then a sous chef, then a kitchen lead / head chef. And years of safe qualifications has given me firsthand insight into the importance of food safety, quality assurance, and dedication towards others' well-being. As chair, I'll bring the same dedication to improving our campus dining experience, and this committee can have the shovel to getting change actually implemented with Sodexo, but I believe that we can help make students proud to live, study, especially eat at UMaine. Thank you all for your time. Looking forward to working with you guys in student government as a new senator. And once more, my name is Ryan St. Lawrence.
Thank you. And next is Senator Fang.
I've had a lot of fun chairing this committee for the last 2 semesters and getting to know all the Sodexo employees on a first name basis. That being said, I'd like to rescind my nomination and endorse Senator St. Lawrence. Thank you.
Currently nominated are Representative DeMerchant, Senator Kearns, and Senator St. Lawrence. If you're a senator, hold up your hand and collect a ballot and put down the one name you'd like to chair this committee.
I like to share it. They don't have like.
Any ballots that weren't collected for food and dining goods? Seeing none, while those are being counted, we'll move on to President Pro Tempore. Currently nominated are Senator Ricker, Senator Fang, and Senator Schoen. Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, we'll move into platform speeches, starting with Senator Ricker.
For those who don't know me, my name is Kyle Wickle, and I'm the previous president of Temple. I know that on paper, this position is a relatively simple position, but to me, this position is deeply personal. I'm someone who has struggled speaking through a lot of my life, being able to articulate myself, being able to say my words, and being able to speak in front of the Senate is definitely an honor of my time at University of Maine. And I realized that last semester, I struggled at times to pronunciate myself. I struggled at times to actually speak to the crowd, which is why this past winter, I got vocal practice, I got public speaking practice. I went out of my way to improve because I believe that I can do more for this organization and I want to prove it. I want to be able to actually stand in front of you all and to lead the meetings and to actually be able to fully articulate myself, as I know I can. So throughout my time in student government, I've been as involved as I possibly really could in committees, EBC, SOC, cabinet. I try to go to as many meetings as I can, and I try to just be a support person where I can, just nominating people to as many different positions as possible. Because at the end of the day, I believe that I put myself into this position, I put myself through student government, and I just really like to have your support to get through this semester as point of order. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Next is Senator Fang.
Memphis Peterson gavel. Thank you.
All right. Next is Senator Schoen.
Hello. The president pro tempore is responsible for chairing in Senate in lieu of our vice president. And this position requires someone who's engaged, confident, and understands protocol. Instead of going on more, I want to share a short story about how I handle pressure unexpectedly. In high school, I heard of an opportunity that would have been able to have me skip all of my APs in one day. And so I joined it, and it was to go to the State House and to volunteer for a lobbying group for flavored nicotine products. And this is the first time I heard about it. I heard about it the day I went to Augusta. I was briefed on it in the car. And then once we got to the state house, we were deciding who was gonna speak in front of them. I did not speak up until everyone looked at me. And I said, I'm not eloquent enough to share this. And they said, okay, you said eloquent, well, thank you. And so I ended up speaking in front of the State House of Representatives, and I didn't. I think that's a really good accomplishment. I work under pressure really well. And yeah, vote for me.
For the record, that banging noise is the reason why Oak Hall sucks to live in, anyway.
It's a heater, it's a heater.
Yeah, it's just a radiator. That concludes our platform speeches for President Pro Tempore, but before we get to voting.
Drum roll for food and dining. Number St. Lawrence.
We are now currently voting for President Pro Tempore. The three nominees are Senator Ricker, Senator Fang, and Senator Sherman.
No, I just need This is the most Senate election I've seen.
Any ballots that have been collected? I'm not rushing you.
Seems like water.
I mean, I have to.
Any ballots that haven't been collected? Being none, while those are being counted, we'll move into Sergeant at Arms. Currently nominated are Senator Stanley, Senator Weber, Senator Stanford, and Senator Misha. Are there any nominations? Senator Ricker?
I'd nominate Senator Wall.
Second. Senator Weber?
I'd like to send my nomination.
Currently nominated for Sergeant at Arms are Senator Stanley, Stanford, and Misha. Any other nominations? Seeing none, we can begin platform speeches, starting with Senator Stanley.
Hi, my name is Nathaniel Stanley, and as I said before, I'm treasurer of the College Republicans. Now, if you haven't been to one of those meetings, you know that sometimes they can be dull, but sometimes they can be pretty exciting, and you have to keep people in order. And I think that I've done pretty well with that. And obviously that's a small context, but at the same time, I don't think that this is a rowdy bunch of people to begin with. So I don't think I would have any trouble, or anyone else would have any trouble keeping them in order. But as kind of a final thought, as someone who's been interested in and involved with political activism, one of the biggest problems I think that we, especially as students, have is that we're unable to have civil conversations according to a set procedure of discussion. And that is a serious problem, especially at this moment in time where everyone has very strong political opinions and they're unable to respect the boundaries of discussion that have been set beforehand and that are there to keep everyone's voice heard. And this is something I feel very passionate about, and I would do my best to enforce it. Thank you.
Next is Senator Stanford.
Hi, everyone. Senator Stanford, Stanley. Just want to start off by saying, Nate offered me $1 for every time I could mention field hockey in this speech, but I'm not going to do that because I'm taking this speech seriously the same way that I would take the Sergeant at Arms role. The responsibility of the Sergeant at Arms is multifaceted. I have to maintain, if I was a Sergeant at Arms, I would have to maintain order and remove people when appropriate. I know this is something I could do, even when it requires difficult conversations. It's not something that happens often, but if it ever does, I'll be ready for it. Secondly, I'm stronger than I look.
carrying the flags, taking care of the tables, or even opening a stuck window, that's something I can do as your sergeant at arms. I'll drop down right now and give you 20 push-ups to prove it. Additionally, I may not be from Maine and I may not be American, but I would treat those flags like they were my own. Thank you and vote safe.
I just realized I was nominated for this like 20 minutes ago. So, I think I can do a pretty good job at this. I could get here early enough and like these tablecloths, they would be put down so nicely. There's like a dress code and stuff, and VP Pearson's like, gotta get out, looks at me, it's like, that guy's out, I'm like, whoever it is, I'm like, yep, you're out. So yeah, I would be pretty good at this, so I think you should vote for me.
That concludes platform speeches for Sergeant at Arms, but before we begin voting.
Drum roll for President Pro Tem.
Senator Ricker. Now voting for Sergeant at Arms, current nominees are Stanley, Stanford, and Legion. You voted? No. Any ballots that haven't been collected, hold them up. All right, seeing none, while those are being counted, we will move on to our committee appointments, starting with the Student Organization Committee. Currently nominated are Blatt, Kern, Cowan, Jolin, Bang, Ricker, Thompson, and Stanford. This is a position that you vote 4 names to sit on the committee. Are there any nominations? Senator Ricker?
What time is the committee?
3 to 4 Wednesdays.
3 to 4 Wednesdays. Sorry. Any other questions or nominations?
Senator Stanley.
Senator Stanley, do I hear a second?
Second.
I respectfully decline.
Senator Kearns?
I'd also like to resign my nomination.
Was there?
I'd like to rescind my nomination.
Currently nominated are Blatt, Cowan, Jolin, Fang, Ricker, and Thompson. Are there any other nominations? Senator Cowan?
I would like to rescind my nomination.
Any other nominations? Senator Jolin?
I'd like to rescind my nomination.
Currently nominated are Blatt, Fang, Ricker, and Thompson. Are there any other nominations? Senator Cowan?
I would like to nominate Senator Sparks.
Second.
I gracefully accept.
Currently nominated Blatt, Fang, Ricker, Thompson, and Sparks. Any other nominations? Senator Ricker?
I'd like to rescind my nomination.
Any other nominations? Seeing none, we're not going to do platform speeches. Congratulations to Senators Blatt, Fang, Thompson, and Sparks. Okay, is that a search?
Yes, drum roll, please. Senator Stanford.
Next, we are moving into the Executive Budgetary Committee. This is another 4 nominations. Currently nominated are Bohm, Cowan, Michaud, Blatt, Weber, Ricker, Shomerdine, and Fang. Are there any other nominations? Senator Shomerdine?
I'd like to respectfully rescind my nomination.
Any other nominations, Senator Cowan?
Point of inquiry, when are the EBC meetings?
2 to 4 and then on Friday and then one possible on Monday.
2 to 4 Fridays. Any other nominations or questions? Senator Jones,
I would like to nominate myself.
second. You accept?
Yes.
Currently nominated are Bone, Cowan, Michaud, Vlad, Weber, Ricker, Fang, and Jones. Senator Ricker?
I'm gonna just make absolute sure. EBC is 4 p.m. on Fridays?
Yes.
Okay.
Big change. Senator Ricker?
I'd like to rescind my nomination.
Any other nominations? Senator Sparks?
I would like to nominate myself.
Second.
I accept.
Currently nominated Bone, Cowan, Michaud, Vlad, Weber, Fang, Joan, and Sparks. I will reiterate that before we vote. Any other nominations? Great. Let me pull out my phone. Since there are so many nominees, I'm going to allow 45 seconds for each one. If that's the pleasure of the fact. Going down the list, first nominee platform speech is Senator Bone.
Hello, everybody. I would like to hold this position because I feel like I've done a decent job in trying to keep us on track and within budget this last semester. And I would like it not to all be for naught this semester. So I'd like to help keep us on track and also help plan for what to do with budgets next semester and in future years. And hopefully put in place some guidelines that will keep us out of it forever to come. And thank you.
Thank you. Next is Senator Cowan.
I'm gonna say the same thing that I said last semester. I got a 99 on my statistics final, my sophomore year. I will talk about that forever. I love math. I don't look like a person who loves math, but I actually love math and sometimes saying no to people. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Senator Michaud.
Hi, I've never served on EBC before, but I have a lot of experience with student government. This is gonna, after the end of the, it would be 3 years I've been on student government. And I've been through multiple budget meetings and I've seen how the budget ebbs and flows. And you know, we gotta really work this semester on keeping us in budget. But I also hope that we can meet clubs where they're at and also understand we're a vital lifeline for clubs for money wise. So I want to be on EBC, I want to serve a balance of advocating for funding clubs, but also staying within our budget. Thank you.
Next is Senator Vlad.
Monetary funds are a very delicate balance. It takes a wise and dependable individual to handle such a grueling task. If elected, I will graciously apply myself to this position with the most humble consideration towards all student organizations in a fair and biased manner that will benefit everybody. With such an important position, if any unaccounted excess of fund allocating occurs, the consequences could be catastrophic. I manage inventory, customer service, and eBay market statistics. It's the gold standard when comparing it directly to what EBC does. I guess just saying that not all knowledge comes from college. My skill set is hands-on, real-life business practicality experience, and I feel like I can apply myself to this role with great effect.
Senator Weber.
Hello, I'm Weber. I am a double major in financial economics and accounting. That would obviously help, but more than that, I hope that in the semester I've been here, I've proven to be very passionate about what we do in student government, and I hope to bring that passion to EBC with a new idea, new blood into that, to hopefully get us through a tough time in what would be this semester, and hopefully get us on track for what will be hopefully the rest of my years here at the University of Maine, and to set up even future past that. So thank you.
Next is Senator Fang.
Josh Bone, I rescind my nomination.
Next is Senator Jolin.
In my past semester as a senator in the student government, I've become accustomed to the budgeting practices and learned the importance that money plays in upholding our duties and providing to our general student body. And I also know how to be frugal, which given our unfortunate money situation has proven very vital. Okay.
Thank you. And Senator Sparks.
This is one of the most important committees, if not the most important committee that a senator can be on. We have a tight budget this year, and I believe that I am able and willing to make hard decisions to keep our budget all the way throughout the end of the year while still maximizing its reach. And I also got through high school math without a calculator, so pretty good math.
That concludes platform speeches for the Executive Budgetary Committee. Currently nominated are Bohm, Cowan, Michaud, Willett, Weber, Jolin, and Sparks. Please list the 4 names that you would like to nominate. For Senator, hold your hand. There you go.
It's on your. Yes.
That haven't been collected. Seeing none, while those are being counted, we'll move on to the Student Entertainment Committee. This has 1 elected position. Currently nominated are Jolin, Harvey, Collmore, DeLorme, Pratty, and Lamadrid. Are there any other nominations? Senator Lamadrid? Any other nominations? Senator Pratty?
I would also like to rescind my nomination.
Senator Collmore?
I would like to rescind my nomination.
Currently nominated are Jolin, Harvey, and DeLorme. Any other nominations? Senator Ricker?
Second. Yours up.
Currently nominated are Jolin, Harvey, DeLorme, and Ricker. Any other nominations? Seeing none, we'll move into 45-second platform speeches, starting with Senator Jones.
By attending SEC, I hope to use my own experiences from the past 4 years of being a student to contribute to the conversation surrounding student entertainment. I'm excited for the opportunity to discuss how the student activity fee is being spent, provide my own input, and also work on outreach to our student body on what their student activity fee provides so that they can then take advantage of it. Having a diverse taste in entertainment myself, I hope to advocate for the student body to ensure that there is something for everyone. I'm open to new ideas and would welcome and hear any constructive thoughts from the student body and bring them to the committee's attention. Vote for me.
Next is Senator Harvey.
So actually, I'm not gonna use this to talk about myself, but I'd rather talk about one of our fellow senators, Senator Jolin. I think that since she's been here, she's shown a lot of initiative trying to elect or taking a bunch of positions up within student government, even though she may not have won the positions. She nominated herself multiple times, showed initiative, showed courage and commitment to this organization. I think that she'd be a perfect fit for SEC. So she has my endorsement. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Senator DeLorme.
You know what? I'm gonna second Senator Harvey's nomination and his endorsement, so that's mine.
And next is Senator Ricker.
All right, so I just want to say first off, thank you all so much for voting for the employee. I very much appreciate it. I think I bring a very unique perspective to SEC because ever since freshman year, I have worked with student involvement, and what that consists of every single weekend, I work with a team of fellow students to put on events for students on campus. In addition to that, I also have experience with logistic planning for events, last summer, I was a preschool development intern, and what I did in that position was I went on 2 different educational summits, which was basically bringing 100+ educators to a conference to basically talk about education in different ways that they face different challenges through that. So basically, I've experienced in logistics, I've experienced in strategy, I don't understand what it takes to put on a massive event, and I think I'll be a really key asset in SEC. Additionally, I've known Dylan Lehman for, what, 14 years, like I know, something like that. I work well with him, but regardless, I like to encourage Aubrey to vote for Senator Jolin, so thank you very much.
Do we have the results for EBC? Alright, so 15 seconds. Don't pass those out. No, I don't want people getting confused.
Put the papers away.
Y'all wanted me to make sure nobody got confused when I was taking my time, so.
That's fair. He's doing a great job. Did not count us for senior. Central Scene did not count us for senior.
That's the area, that's what I was.
Okay. 8 in the morning, you did good.
That's, I mean,
The following senators will be on Maine seat. Senator Bone, Senator Cowan, Senator Michoud, and Senator Weber.
All right, we will now move into voting for the Student Entertainment Committee. This is 1 vote. Currently nominated are Jolin, Harvey, Delorme, and Ritter. 1 name. Are there any ballots that haven't been collected yet?
Alrighty, guys, so I would like to start conversations tonight with a roughly 10-minute time frame to just basically free for all, discuss the SAF. I think it's important that we do that in front before the executive session so that the main campus is here and then it's in public session. My question to you is that we can either begin this tonight with a 10-minute one, or we can start next week and do 15 minutes. Show of hands for starting tonight. Up high. Oh, no. It's much closer than I thought. Okay, did you count?
Yes.
Okay, for nays, don't start tonight. Goodness.
All right, there are more people that want to do it,
Okay, we will.
but that was an informal.
Yeah, so I suggest someone make a motion and add it to new business.
And just for the record, the votes for the Student Entertainment Committee are currently being counted. With that, we will here for a moment exit nominations and elections, but those will be announced as soon as they're available. Was there a motion, Senator Michaud?
Motion to add 10 minutes to talk about the FA.
Student activity fee.
You got second.
Hearing a second, if that's the pleasure of the Senate, that's adopted. Any discussion on the motion to add a 10-minute discussion at the end of new business? Any debate? Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? All those abstaining? Seeing a clear majority, that passes. A 10-minute discussion, it's not your turn yet. Doesn't hurt.
I'm just standing up here, you don't have to follow me.
Okay. BPFA law probably needs that in school. He's next on the agenda.
On executive session.
No.
Oh, you have two?
Yeah.
Well, I'll still say.
And for the election results for the Student Entertainment Committee, congratulations to Senator Joe. Under new business is a discussion with our Vice President for Financial Affairs.
Alright, so we're just gonna have a quick discussion about the financial budget and the timeline that everyone has to go for. So this can apply to a lot of you in this room, and then a lot of the external clubs. So for those of you who have hands in a lot of the other events on campus, just keep those people in the know how too, if they miss one of my plethora of emails that will be coming out, starting February 4th. Either way. So if you guys can see up there, all of this will be starting on February 3rd, which is when all of the budget forms for the annual budget will be released. February 4th I will be giving everyone an official reminder in Senate that you guys can start coming to my office hours and making appointments to start scheduling those meetings with me and scheduling your times to come in with EBC to go over all of those budgets. The very important date is February 27th, which is the deadline when all of those budgets have to be in by. That includes, so if you turn it in before that date, that will include going to EBC on that next day, on that Friday. All budgets have to be in that period to be considered for the annual budget. So it's a very important day. There will then be EBC will then create a preliminary estimate of the annual budget. And there will be 1 week for edits if there are issues with anything that was made by EBC or in the initial preliminary creation of the budget. EBC will then have a decision. So for those of you who have just been nominated to be on EBC, you will get to choose whether we have our final meeting to review over the budget on March 14th, which is the Friday before we leave for spring break, or March 24th, which is the Monday we come back. So later tonight, you'll get a message from me asking which one you would prefer. Besides that, senators after that date will be able to start accessing the annual budget on the 26th. And then the annual budget meeting will be on the 1st with a backup date for the 8th. Are there any questions on any of this?
Are there any questions for this evening? Representative Bolea.
This is a small clarification question. Did you mean Tuesday, February 4th or Friday, February 7th?
Or. Wait. No. Friday, March 7th. Are you talking about
February?
UBC creates the. Which one are you talking about?
It's about the bolded one.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, yes, my bad. That is the Tuesday.
Any other questions for the speaker? As your vice president, I'm going to say that this is, in my opinion, the most important meeting of each Senate session. So as a senator, one of your obligations is to be attentive to this process, even if you're not on EBC, of really just making sure that as student leaders, all other student leaders on campus are aware of what this timeline is and making sure that they're getting the resources and that's something that they're. And same thing for the annual budget meeting. It's a long, hefty meeting that actually calls for a special meeting. Literally the most important meeting in the session, so make sure that you are available that evening. For people familiar with American government, that's the night that pretty much sets the agenda for the next year. And any clubs and organizations, if we don't need quorum to be able to pass or discuss or debate any of this, it brings essentially the undergraduate student body and their student activity fee to a halt. So please bear that. Any other questions from the speakers? Vice President Wall, do you have anything else to add?
Nope. That's it. Thank you guys for all your work so far and.
Next in new business, we will have what is around 10-minute discussion with the president regarding the student activity.
Yeah, you want to while I start. Okay, alrighty, guys. So we've already started. For those of you who are new to this semester, this has been probably the largest thing that we've talked about this past year, which is a potential raise to the activity fee. You heard some public comments about it today. It's obviously something that's on everybody's mind. It should be, especially in this room. I promise that I trust that most of you have reviewed the SAF report that I put together. For those who are new to Senate, I don't expect you to, but you can find that on the student government website under resources where you can look through that. That has a lot of the information that's important to know. But what I want to get out of these sessions is I think the sooner the better that we pass something is important, but the deadline is in 3 meetings after this. That is the deadline that we have to submit a tentative number to Vice President Sparks in order to get it onto the board's annual budgeting thing. I don't know. That's the deadline that they give the universities. That's our deadline too. So what I would like to get out of this is I would like to get a general feel. I have my convictions about this. I believe that the majority of my exec team are on a similar page. But what really matters is where you guys are at and how you're feeling. I'm here to advocate for my side, but also be a sounding board for questions. So I can do both, so don't worry if you want me to give you figures, I mean, that's no problem. Myself and, or not myself, actually, VPFA Hua is putting together a pretty useful tool that we'll probably start using next week to kind of look at the numbers, which will be helpful for visual. But with that being said, I think it's important for you all to start the conversation. I think you've been given majority of the information, and I'm just curious to see where the Senate's at, so.
10-minute discussion period starts now with Senator Ricker.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, the full activity raise would be $22, right?
It'll be $22 a semester. Yep.
Okay, yeah. So as you mentioned, we as an organization can definitely one, whether it's a $0 increase or a $22 per semester increase. I think when it comes to student leaders on campus and the people who actively use student government funds, they would get significantly more out of it if it was a $22 raise. It enables us to fund more, it enables them to do more interesting trips, it enables them to just have the experiences that they want out of college. And I think it makes sense as an investment from students into the student activity fee to get the most out of it.
Senator Sparks.
Do you know, this is kind of, I don't expect you to actually know this, but it's kind of a wild question. But do you know that if we had added up all the requests that people that had come in for the budget from student organizations, without us docking it down to what we did, do you know how much over we would have been?
So we've done a lot of cutting. And I think what's important to kind of contextualize this issue is that student government is not already operating at what it used to be. We're in a student government that is now 3-ish years in the hole, and it has been cutting back on our student entertainment and several different things. This is not just to directly address comments earlier, right? The deficit that we're looking at this semester, right? If the math is correct, I wasn't sure, but if that $2, even with that, if we met that, we're already operating way under what we would normally and what student government used to operate under, right? The allocations have been unequal. In terms of how much we would be in the hole, I can't say. What's important to know is that our spring semester is always our most expensive semester, and that is why we kind of played a hardball last semester. And we're in not a great place, but we're in a really good place in terms of what we've done, and I'm very proud of what we've done. But for instance, today I had a sit-down meeting with Cheer, and they're thinking about requesting $8 grand. That alone would put us, that's almost, what, 10% of our remaining funds, somewhere around there? 20, okay, there you go. So when I say we're in a hole, it's much bigger than it's perceived right now, especially in the week to week, because you have to think of it in the aggregate, right? And things do cost more, that's 100% true, but there's also considerations that we have to consider beyond just inflation, which is the fact that the demand for our resources has greatly increased. There was at a time, especially in the reasons that we are giving so much money to sport clubs right now, is because sport clubs were the only ones, right, who are coming in. But to use a Pam euphemism that I will continue to use until this is over, there used to be this much money and this much need, but now there's this much money and that much need, right? So everybody has to take a cut if we want to stretch that. I'm offering you with a $22 increase, no cuts, and we hit the ground running with more. Bigger concerts, and I'm not even talking huge scale investments, I'm talking getting us back to where we were. I think that we're painfully, I think that I would be curious to hear from our Vice President of Student Entertainment, but I think that we are just out of the price range to actually get artists and talent that this student body really wants to see, and that's why we struggle with attendance, right? Those things matter. An extra 20 grand each show matters, huge. I feel like I've rambled off your question, but does that help contextualize it? Okay.
Senator Collins.
There's something that I randomly remember you mentioned to me at a pre-visual meeting we had where you had mentioned something about to someone else. I probably should have been listening, but about something that other universities around us have a higher student activity fee. I was wondering like what the average you think of universities that
Yeah, so statistically, we're actually quite a bit lower than most activity fees across the nation. Now, this is not true for our direct competitor UNH, which was something that I was looking into. However, the difference between our student government and other student governments across the nation is that we also provide more, and we're expected to provide more than they are. For instance, UNH only has about $77 a year is what they pay. They have a larger student body, A, which equates to a larger income, but also they charge students for tickets, correct?
Yes.
So that's something we don't have the luxury to do. When we put something on, we put something on for students for free. That is not an obligation that most student governments have. That's an obligation that is given to us in our Constitution, which does absolutely put us into a situation where we do need more money to operate, especially to meet the needs of students. Does that answer your question? Great. All right. It's been a while.
Okay, so this is a two-part, so let's start. I don't really have a particular preference for whatever we do, but you have a preference, and what is that preference?
$22, baby. I think that the reality is $22, I understand is a lot. I don't want to spend more going to school, and I don't discredit the amount that $44 goes to. Do you want me to stop?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the main points I'm going into. So $22 increase is the highest option out of all, and what our person came to talk brought up a good point that, you know, things get a lot more expensive, there's a lot more fees, and students don't love that in any way. And it's the students who decide how our activity fee increases. And we just asked them like 2 years ago for activity fee increase. So how do you feel like in your position, how you want the highest amount? How are you gonna like explain it to the students, and how do you think you can defend that and make a good argument why people should vote for that?
100%. Love the question. I think that it really does boil down to the student activity fee is about what we can afford collectively, right? And I think that's a really powerful concept. We provide opportunities for students to go to conferences and to travel, to go to national championships that they otherwise wouldn't be able to. And these are things that are genuinely on the line. And I'm not saying they're on the line this year. The $22 increase, yes, is the largest that we're considering, but it's not the largest it could go to. Could have been a $50 increase, a $100 increase. I didn't want to go there. But what 22 does, and where I think it genuinely actually ends up in more of a safety zone, is the 11, that 11 number, think of it as a bare minimum. That is to get us to where we are operating today and just a little basically to make it, right? But the issue is that prices are still going up, right? The last time it was raised only by CPI and not if to account for buying power, which is important when we're talking about that increased demand, right? Because there's an increased demand. So it's not just about things costing more, it's also that we're being expected to do more. Okay, I think that from when I've talked to students, especially our sport club students and others, they don't want to see this support go away. But very much might have to. And I think that in terms of where I've talked to, and I've played, I've been very open and honest because I want to know this answer. I want to know that if we do put a $22 increase, which is the largest that we're considering, I want to know that it'll also pass the student body. Every student that I have talked to, and I have talked to quite a few, are on board. They like the idea, they consider it as an investment in each other. I think Senator Ricker put it in a really beautiful terms earlier. It's that concept of, again, what we can afford together. And I just think that once we hit that home, and it will take some, I think that it's important too. If the Senate is going to take a stand and we're going to put forth a student activity fee raise, each and every one of us should also be out making that case. On top of that, I intend to do videos, an op-ed, and an interview with the Maine campus, just my general gist. While I continue throughout this semester, anywhere I can, I want to have those conversations. And yeah, I think that's everything I want to say.
This is just, I mean, it's not really, or whatever, but, what percent of students need to pass this if it were if went to the student votes? Like, is it just 51%?
50% plus one.
Okay.
Yep, and for reference, the last activity fee raise passed by nearly 90% support.
Senator Thompson?
Is the raise going only to us, or is it gonna be distributed to the other people that benefit from the activity fee?
I have it currently only going to us. That is because, I mean, we also, to us is not really how, we're not gonna spend it on student government, it goes to everybody. I haven't heard concerns of the other two organizations and where they're at in terms of funding issues, but that's something I'm absolutely open to hearing. I just figured that in terms of us making that call, right? They would come to us if that's what they wanted, an increase in the activity fee.
Senator Martone?
I really hate to disagree with our one guest speaker. But since she's not here to defend herself, but also I think it sets like a bad precedent. But unlike some of the examples that she mentioned, this is like for students, only students. Like this is for like our extracurricular activities. And it's not like a new HVAC system that it's gonna be for you, but also other people farther down the line in this university's history. This is for us now, today, or maybe in the next semester. That's why I'm very much happy that you are entertaining the idea of a $22 increase.
Great, that concludes the 10-minute discussion. Sure. Senator Sparks?
Motion to extend for another 10 minutes.
Second.
Here in a second, if that's the pleasure of the Senate, that's adopted. Any discussion on the motion? Any debate on the motion, Senator Harvey?
Are we gonna get anything out in 10 more minutes?
I think the conversation's been good.
Senator Sparks?
It seems like a lot of people have a lot to say, and especially the new senators, they don't know very much about what's happening, so I think it would be really good for us to extend the conversation. However, I also understand that it's 9 o'clock and people want to go home. But
I'll do 2 more points. Representative Tanaka?
I have a question. Can representatives vote on this motion since it involves them and their time?
No, it doesn't.
No? All right.
Unfortunately, they can discuss it. Last one, Senator Bowman.
Just like many people have done, the speaker and you can trust, I also crushed my numbers, I came up with different numbers, I wanted to mention those. And also if we get super tired and people want to leave, can't we just motion to also end it once it reaches a point? Yeah, okay, yeah, that's fine.
Cool. One more point for debate because I realized he asked a question. Senator Tang?
I'm against extending it. To the point of new senators, I think we should give them a week to look over this report. And we can always motion to have more time to discuss in future sessions. I know we're on a time crunch, but there's still 2 or 3 more, you said.
Right, so if we don't continue it tonight, I'll probably move to a 20-minute discussion moving forward each night because this wasn't long enough. It's paper productive, it's just true, but we can also be done tonight. It's totally up to you.
All right, all those in favor of extending the discussion by 10 minutes? All those opposed? Seeing a clear majority, we will conclude our discussion. That concludes new business, and seeing nothing under main motion, we will now enter a session. Well, we will now enter a executive session After the clerk calls, Senator Clever.
I would like to suspend the rules and add the cabinet recommendation.
If that's the pleasure of the Senate, that's adopted.